I'm Candace.
And I'm Ripley.
And I'm John.
And this is Comicsplaining.
The show where water is wet.
I hate you so
And
much.
so is ice.
Yeah, ice, shockingly, also wet.
It is wet.
That's...
Water vapor? Kind of damp
Kind of
also.
wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't find ice wet if it was cold enough.
Well, the thing is that your hands are warmer than the ice.
No, it was...
So when you touch it...
Dude, it was
It's
wet in the
immediately.
freezer. I don't know what's going on there.
So yeah.
That sure was an intro.
It was gonna be the one where Wolverine is double jointed, but I decided water is wet.
Water is wet.
Because it gave us something to talk about, for that lengthy 20 seconds we had something to talk about.
We could always talk about how water isn't wet, scientifically speaking.
No.
Define
I'm not gonna,
wetness,
nah,
damn
fuck
you.
off.
Things that water touches are wet.
After all,
Guys,
Lake
this is-
Superior taught me
Are you
this.
the motherfucker gonna be like, water's not a beverage? Because if so, I'm
No.
fucking done.
I'm not.
No, but Lake Superior has taught me that water isn't wet. Only things that touch water are wet. Thank you, Lake Superior Twitter.
Okay. Well, Lake Superior is wrong, so I don't know what to tell you. So you guys want to tell me what happened last time on X-Men, since I get to go first and just absolutely blow the show out?
Yeah, you're just gonna fucking destroy this. And then we're gonna get to the Thor section, and I'm gonna be like, Thor does things.
Thor also does things. I mean, it's only,
Sorry, Mom said it's my turn on the Xbox.
What happened last time?
well, we started with the X-Men in Go-Go cages,
True.
Oh, yes.
and Kitty Pryde saved them. She was...
We're missing some points, because we didn't actually start with them in Go-Go
No?
cages. We started with Kitty Pryde almost getting run down by some motherfuckers.
Yeah, she almost got hit by a car.
Yeah.
And then the Phoenix fucked up the car.
Yes.
Correct.
And then Psyche was like, dude, not cool.
Right, and then she was like, I'm not sorry.
And she shouldn't be, because these were people willing to run
Hit
over
a child with a car.
Yeah, they were willing to run over a teenager with a car. They don't have rights.
So they kind of gathered Kitty, and they
went and they kind of got the story from her.
Mhm.
Right. Sorry, I have a lot of things in my head, and I don't know what order they go in.
I'm sure they're all Thor related.
No.
They talked to Kitty and found out what was going on, and through that they learned about the Hellfire Club.
Yes. And they also captured one of the goons from the car,
Correct.
and Jean read his mind,
Right.
and she was like, oh, it's weird that this guy, Jason Wingard, is in the Hellfire Club, but he's also the guy that I've been hallucinating about, and also the guy that I met in Scotland.
And he's my past husband.
That's weird. I'm not gonna think about it, though.
Or tell anyone. I'm definitely not going to tell Scott. No, that would be
No.
bad.
She tells him some shit.
She does.
But
She doesn't tell him.
it's not
enough.
all out in the open just yet.
Right. So they rescue everyone?
Yep,
Yes.
they rescue everyone,
As-
except Emma is still kind of holding Storm, and she's gonna
Right.
fuck up her head.
But
And then Jean shows up and is like, I don't think so.
I do love that, the building that couldn't stop Kitty Pryde in the first place continues to...
Not stop
Kitty
her.
Pryde.
Yeah, they lock it down and...
They don't know what to be fair, would you know what to do against Kitty Pryde?
I mean, especially since no one has known about her ever before.
She's
right,
new.
until like 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm. So, Jean killed Emma.
Yep. Emma's
Yeah.
dead.
She's dead. And then they all kind of left.
And we got this weird flat title card saying, Emma Frost will return in Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah. Very strange. So don't know what that means, but they took Kitty home.
Yep.
And Kitty's parents were really mad. But
Until the Phoenix solved that one.
Yep,
Yeah.
Jean mind wiped them.
Yeah, very Chuck-esque of you.
I tweaked it.
Scott and Storm were a little bit concerned about that.
Yep, they were indeed.
Yeah, that was,
And in the B story,
Oh.
Dazzler went to a diner and talked to her friends all night, and they kind of sucked.
Yeah, they all kind of did.
They all kind of sucked, and it was boring, and then she left.
Yep.
I think there was something to it, but it was really...
Shallow and vapid.
I don't know, I think it was more extremely timely, and that's kind of the problem for us.
That's true. It
It
did
did contain the line, so how about that, Reagan?
They were also talking about Yasser Arafat at some point.
Like again, extremely timely.
And then it concluded with her saying, I'll never be a superhero, and then skating away.
Deuces.
Congrats, Dazzler. I'm reasonably confident you get your wish.
And then in the second issue, they went to Warren's mountain fastness.
Yep.
And
Chuck
the polycule was
In full form.
on some bullshit.
Yes, Chuck is not amused. How
No.
dare they defy him?
How dare they have a polycule?
How dare the polycule meet?
The polycule's been there from day one, Chuck. You should have stepped in long before this if you didn't want that.
No, but they were supposed to obey his orders, and they didn't.
Yeah, Chuck's on some bullshit right now.
Yeah.
So Warren and Jean kissed, and then Warren and Scott kissed.
And they're all relatively chill with this, so...
Yeah, they're all cool about it. And then,
Yeah, this was all in front of Warren's girlfriend, too.
Yeah.
Who was surprisingly okay
Also
with it.
chill with this.
Yeah.
Scott and Warren went to go talk about the problems, like the Hellfire Club and what's going on with Jean. But then Jean showed up.
Well, we're missing the fact Warren's like, oh, I've got a membership to the Hellfire Club, because that's actually important, because he does use it later.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
it's just a family
yes.
thing, you know, as one
Well,
does.
because he's rich.
Because, yeah, he's rich.
It's a rich people club.
Well, you inherit the memberships, actually.
You know who else has a membership? Tony Stark.
You know who else has a membership? Fucking Psylocke. So when I was talking about how she's super high class, that's what's up with that.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's a
Can't
thing.
wait to get into that.
It's a thing that you just have.
Yeah.
So,
It's pretty much an I'm old money thing.
yeah, so Warren has that, and he's like, I don't know.
Wait, Tony Stark is old money?
Yes.
Guess I just assumed Howard was new money. He feels like new money.
I don't know.
It's not important to this discussion.
It's really not.
It's just...
Well, it depends. What would we consider Howard Hughes? Because at all points we need to consider Howard Hughes.
Oh god, we do, don't we? Howard Stark is basically Howard Hughes.
Yeah.
Oh no. I hate that. I hate that realization. It's completely unrelated to either of the topics we are going to be discussing on this podcast.
How do you know?
On this episode.
Oh
How do
no.
you know?
So yeah, they were talking about that, and then Jean showed up, and she had a date with Scott, and they fucked.
Yeah, she fucked that boy.
Yeah.
For a week straight.
Oh, that's what you do at a mountain retreat.
And then a week later, they went to infiltrate the Hellfire Club.
Yep.
Which was really smart for Jean to do.
Yeah.
Very, very big brain.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
this was galaxy brain behavior.
She walked in and was immediately noticed.
She didn't even try to, disguise herself at
They
all.
clocked her instantly.
Immediately.
Like, as she's walking through the door, Donald Pierce was like, is that Jean Grey?
Yeah.
And Scott Summers.
Yep.
Guys, we're not. You're not
So
doing
as
this.
soon as they walked in, she got brain fucked.
You
To
know?
put it gently.
Yeah.
You know what? Send Wolverine. No one's gonna recognize him.
Yeah, he looks like he'd fit in real well.
No, he wouldn't. That doesn't matter.
I just have him put on his bolo tie.
And just act like
And
he's
his cowboy
a
hat.
rich oilman.
Exactly.
And sit him with his
That's what
Russian
they-
buddy.
That's what they do with Elliot and Leverage. So it would work.
They do, and it does work, and that's a great show, and yes, he can be Elliot and Leverage.
I mean, he basically is.
Yeah,
So-
but with knives.
Yeah.
And
More
hey,
knives.
More knives.
no one would ever think this guy's Wolverine.
Right. So,
Unless they looked at him.
so So fucking Jason Wingard came out and put Jean into like a trance, basically.
Yeah, full Black Queen mode.
And
Which apparently
Scott,
is a switch he installed.
well, yeah, he did over the course of
That is true.
Quite a
several
while.
issues.
Apparently that's what he's been installing this whole time.
And Scott was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Which, fair.
And then he followed them, but then Jason Wingard was actually Mastermind, and he saw it. And then Jean was the Black Queen, and she blasted him. Also, Wolverine and Nightcrawler were coming up through the basement.
Correct.
They dug a hole.
It
Yes.
did not go so well for them.
Yep, they got attacked by the other leaders of the Hellfire Club. And then Nightcrawler got captured, but Wolverine got made so heavy that he fell through the floor.
And
Extra points. Can anybody name to me the one member of the Hellfire Club who hasn't been named yet?
No.
no.
Fatty McButterpants. It's not his name. His name is Harry Leland.
There we go. That guy. He makes people heavy.
Yes. Which is, like, really great. I love when we make fat people's powers have to do with being heavy and shit.
Right.
It's really great. I
Yeah.
love that.
Like that one girl in fucking Great Lakes Avengers whose power is literally to make herself
yeah.
fatter or thinner.
What's her name? I don't even remember.
When does that happen?
It
In
just kind of
Great Lakes
happens off
Avengers.
to the side.
Yes, but like when?
I
Like
don't know.
what decade?
It doesn't matter. Great Lakes Avengers is
I would
never
guess
important.
the 80s or the 90s. I don't know.
Because like if it's a contemporary of this, I get it. If it's like early aughts or God help us teens,
it's still around, but I don't know when it started.
I get that. The legacy of bad decisions is one thing.
Lives on like Asian Psylocke for so long.
Or Mandy.
Okay.
So Wolverine fell back down into
The sewer where he belongs.
Where he
And
belongs.
Wolverine will return in Avengers Infinity War.
Yep.
The rest of them got captured by the Hellfire Club. And
The end.
yeah.
Yeah, nothing else happened.
No, and then there was a B story.
Yep.
And the B story was also about Dazzler again.
Yes.
This one was weird.
For some reason.
Yeah, so she was in a parking garage.
In the 1950s.
Yep, taking the lift. And
Spotted.
the lift attendant
Who was really creepy.
was really creepy and was creeping her out and then handcuffed her to a pole.
As a joke.
And
It's very funny. Ha 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 ha
and she broke out and fucked with him. And he was like, "Oh, I'm a director. I just wanted to study fear." And she's like,
Be afraid of this, bitch.
"Yeah."
About all it had going for it was the art was frankly gorgeous.
The art was great.
The art was excellent.
Unfortunately, they did really waste that artist.
Yep.
That was... I asked, and I was answered. Are they going to waste this amazing artist that they have?
Correct.
Yes, and the Sinti did waste his talents.
Yep.
And then Avengers Infinity... Oh, but don't forget, Avengers Infinity War showed up because it turns out Wolverine is okay and coming back for Avengers.
Yeah,
Rambo
it came
First
around
Blood
pretty
style.
quick, right? I've never actually watched Rambo, confession time.
Neither have I.
Neither
so
have I.
I'm making this reference completely in the blind.
Oh my god, I'm so glad I'm not the only one who has done that. I used to do that with, like, fucking Flashdance. I've still never... No, not Flashdance, Footloose. I've still never seen fucking Footloose.
Never.
I've never
them.
seen Footloose either, so
It's one of those movies I intended to watch and just never have.
I might find a way to see some of these movies. Maybe.
Got a big list that I every once in a while pick something off. Except usually I just end up watching The Godfather again because I'm 32 going on 53. I've been looking at motorcycles lately, so yeah.
I mean,
Going through your midlife crisis.
hell, I'm trying to buy a house, so what does that make me?
Sensible.
Yeah.
True. True. And I'm so tired. So tired.
So tell us about this.
Yeah, this.
There's a bunch of dudes being
Tell us about it.
Yep.
cut.
This is X-Men 133 from February of 1980. Written by Chris Claremont, penciled by John Byrne, inked by Terry Austin, colored by Glynis Wein, and lettered by Tom Orzechowski. I don't know why I always say that part like that.
Well, you
I don't know, I just like fall into a radio voice when I'm
your
doing it, and I don't know
NPR
why.
voice.
I don't think it's my NPR voice, because my NPR voice is much quieter. And so it's just like a weird radio voice, and I don't know why I do it.
Elevator voice.
The fact that you have an NPR voice that is different from that voice.
I like doing voices. I'm not good at them, but I like doing them.
I'm actually a little curious. How much longer do we have Claremont on this run?
Quite, until the 90s.
Wow. So if you like Claremont, you're going to love this.
Yeah.
Until you hate it.
A bunch of the Hellfire goons are down in the basement of the club, rolling their eyes at having to search this basement for a dead man.
You know what? I think they really are trying to make us feel like this is Rambo or something.
Well, I mean, it kind of seems like the vibe they were going for, right?
I may not have seen the movie, but this is the vibe I believe it is aiming to replicate.
Well, said dead man is currently holding himself to the ceiling by pressing himself against the roof joists just over his head.
Pity those masks have terrible
peripheral vision,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, you can't see a thing out of those little slits.
The bored goon then leading the tirade feels a drip of water drop onto his hand. Confused, his eyes turn upward, and at the same time, Logan lets his weight drop.
Surprise!
Falling into the midst of the men, tearing into them. They're not having a very good time. But he is!
He's finally let loose. The handbrake isn't here.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they sent regular guys to look for a quote-unquote dead man.
I mean, what, are they gonna send the guy in the metal suit that he just aced anyway?
He'd stand a better chance.
I mean, that is true. They're probably out of suits. He's cutting the group's size down quickly when one of the guys, Cole, manages to get him in his gun sights and fires. Logan goes flying backwards, lying still in a pile of toppled boxes.
Oh wow, that's just like a regular gun that looks like some kind of blaster. It's spitting out shells.
Yep.
Laser shells.
Laser shells.
Yes, it's a laser blaster.
Well, you know, like if you play Fallout, there are little cartridges.
Uh-huh.
So that's what that is.
That's
It's
definitely
laser
what
shells.
that is, yeah.
It's laser shells.
Well, how would you illustrate a gun firing?
I mean, I wouldn't make them look like blasters.
That's true.
No, I would probably have it more interrupted, I guess, or a slight... I can think of ways I'd do it differently, but I'm not good at drawing anyway, so it probably wouldn't look good.
Maybe commit to the blaster aesthetic and not have it spit out shells?
Yeah, I think that's probably, frankly, the best idea.
He shoots Wolverine like 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking going. He thinks he's dead. He's pretty sure he's dead, so Cole's ready to finish him off before Wolverine gets it in his mind to do the same thing. So as Cole nears the pile of boxes to line up a second shot, and he kind of thinks he might have killed him with the first, but Wolvie's been playing possum and he tears into the guy, leaving only his buddy Rosen left alive in the sub-basement.
I feel like that was a mistake when you consider they were sent there to find a corpse, and the corpse is killing people,
Right.
and now you've dropped the corpse, so clearly he must be dead this time.
Right.
Do you not know
He's
what
dead
genre
this
you're
time,
in?
for sure. He's definitely dead this time.
Yes,
For
he's
sure.
definitely showing up in
You know what
Avengers
should have
Infinity War.
happened? Rosen should have fucking booked it to get more guys.
Yeah.
But she didn't, did ya, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
No, because he's dead.
No, Rosen's alive still.
No, but
I mean,
Wolverine
is dead.
Oh, true.
This time, he's really
He just
dead.
got shot.
That's true, he's dead for sure.
You know, being sent through the floor, that should have killed him.
Well, Rosen is shaking scared. But Logan doesn't leap at him yet. Instead, he gets in his head. I'm just gonna read this because it's spectacular. Hey, bub. I know what you're thinking. He's hurt and he's 5 meters away from me because I'm Canadian, so I definitely use meters. It works. And I got a full clip of ammo in my rifle. Question is, can I kill Wolverine before he can reach me and cut me into shish kebab with those freaky claws of his? Well, bub, Wolverine is virtually unkillable. Wolverine's claws are adamantium, the strongest metal known, capable of slicing through vanadium steel like a hot knife through butter.
Don't you know?
Don't you know? Wolverine likes talking to himself in the third person, eh? Rosen, to Logan's disappointment, drops his gun and assumedly also his bladder control.
I mean, he looks like he's going to cry.
Yeah. He didn't sign up for this shit.
But to the man's horror, Wolverine then springs at him, lifting him high overhead as he draws his claws.
Wolverine did not sign the Geneva Convention, so he doesn't have to treat surrendering combatants with any kind of care.
He promises to release him, if Rosen tells him about the Hellfire Club. Speaking of which, Sebastian Shaw has put a bathrobe on.
Good.
Good for him.
The Hellfire Club look at their new catch as the X-Men stand chained to the wall, with a helmet over Scott's face, leaving him unable to even speak.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm going to request you to keep your outrage at something we're going to encounter in the next few pages to a low outroar.
Okay.
Maybe 2 minutes apiece throughout. It's one of the most criticized things about the Dark Phoenix saga. It's gross, we get it, but we'll be here all day if we counter it at every point. Please save a real thorough overview on your thoughts for this, for the issue rating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, I don't actually know what's coming, so do you?
I have some ideas, but I don't know.
Shaw congratulates Wingard on their decisive victory, who then passionately kisses the Black Queen. All this before most of the gaping eyes and mouths of the X-Men. They whisper amongst themselves over what's become of Jean, all but Scott, who can neither see nor speak. But he knows what's going on, he can hear, and he knows how Mastermind has got Jean wrapped up in this idea that she's living the life of an ancestor. All thoughts of the X-Men gone, all of them just part of the dream world. The noblewoman reaches out, chiding her slave Aurora for her betrayal. Holding what to Jean's eyes might seem to be a pair of keys, just out of reach, though to Aurora it's her headpiece, and all of the lockpicks tucked away inside of it. Aurora pleads for her friend to see reason, but Aurora is no friend to the Black Queen, and she slaps Storm across the face with her still-coiled whip. Just one of many sounds floating around in the vacuum for Scott Summers to hear, though, again, he cannot see.
They didn't cover his ears.
They specifically didn't. It's really strange looking.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. Desperately, he tries to think of a solution for their problems, but his mind keeps drifting back to the butte where he and Jean did the do.
For a week.
But from that, he thinks he has something, because while they were there, he and Jean formed a permanent psychic bond. And despite everything going on, he can still feel that bond in place. Between what just happened with Aurora and what's become of Jean, Kurt is outraged, swearing revenge on the person responsible for this transformation, and demanding to know exactly what Shaw plans to do with them. The answer is capitalism eugenics. He wants...
Oh boy, I know that one's a reoccurring thing in X-Men from here on out.
Yep. He wants to find out what makes mutants tick, and then they can custom build more mutants in the future. Step 5 profit.
Great.
Mutant growth hormone.
That's a thing, actually.
Yeah, that is a thing.
Across the ocean, Sean is a disgustingly early riser.
Oh my god.
Oh, I hate him.
Taking a lap around the island at dawn.
Jesus.
I hate him.
And he spots his lady love's light on through the window.
Though, to be fair, it could be something like 8.
True. It is winter, actually.
And it's the far north.
It's true. He said,
give him the benefit of the doubt. It could actually be really late.
Bullshit. I don't believe it. For the past few... He spots his lady love's light on through the window. Because for the past few days, since the X-Men left, she's been really burning the midnight oil on something, and he's got to get her out of her lab for at least a few minutes.
Yeah, before she commits another, I don't know, crime against humanity, maybe?
Before she tries to reconstitute her dead son again.
Or something else equally horrible.
He tries the very first tempting offer of another lap around the island here at the crack of the crack before dawn.
I mean, she's probably not been sleeping, so I don't think she'd be too down for that.
Nah, she resists that temptation somehow. And then he tries again with the idea of a little wrestling between the sheets.
Better offer.
But again, she's just fucking exhausted.
Shocked.
She's been poring over some more scans the professor sent her about Jane's powers, and she's very troubled. Because nearly all those psychic circuit breakers she'd been discussing before are gone now.
Oh dear.
It may be dawn in Scotland, but in Arizona, the air is still inky midnight as Angel restlessly cuts through the air, trying to clear his mind. He touches back down, finding the professor out on the veranda, taking in the view. He's been thinking a lot about how things have been going with him and the team lately. He thinks it's partially difficulty in letting go of full control. And it seems like maybe some part of him is finding it hard to accept that Scott's all grown up and can handle this now. All Charles can do here is sit and wait. Scott had very good reasons to leave the professor behind, but right now, Xavier's having a very, very hard time actually living with that.
Good job, old man.
The kids are away from home and he's worried about his babies.
Oh my god, he has empty nest syndrome. His child soldiers are away from the nest, and now he has empty nest syndrome. Do not allow him to make more child soldiers.
I won't say anything.
Oh no!
Back in the mansion, the party is still raging. The rich and powerful guzzling champagne like water. To make something like that go takes a lot of service infrastructure, and the staff of the Hellfire Club have been fucking killing it. Tip those bitches good.
Sis, you think they get tipped?
Probably not.
I think they probably do get tipped, frankly.
That's true. When we read that B story, the girl said she got paid really well. I mean, you have to wear those fucking outfits.
Right, you gotta make it worth it. As one of the waitresses takes a plate of drinks off to presidential candidate and Senator Kelly's table, the dumbwaiter door begins to slide open.
Well, that's one way to get in.
Out crawls Wolverine, pretty impressed with himself for coming up with this clever idea. Clever so far, anyway. He's caught scent of the others, but the dumbwaiter only goes up to the first floor. So now he's in a pickle. He's got to make it somewhere with a staircase, and it seems like he's going to have to go across the dance floor to do that.
Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of a dumbwaiter?
Yeah, I think it does. I'm starting to wonder, how functional is that dumbwaiter?
I mean, it just brought up stuff for them, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really just for show.
I think it works for the first floor, and the second floor's just hand service.
It's a pretty dumb
it's just for
dumbwaiter.
bringing stuff up from the cellar, basically.
The club members, it's just like real high club members only on the second floor or something, you know? I don't know. Anyway, Logan doesn't make it that far because... because while the cursor is still spinning, one of the Hellfire goons places a pistol to his temple.
Whoops!
Yeah, he even says that, or thinks it.
Go ahead, shoot him. He'll be good in 10 minutes.
Frustrated listening to Jean flirting with the Hellfire Club, Scott gets to work trying this new plan he's cooked up. He focuses hard on that psionic rapport Jean built between the two of them. After a bit of concentration, he does manage it, finding himself on the astral plane. It's not how I would have phrased that, but it is how Chris phrased it.
Sure, that's the astral plane.
I wouldn't say...
No.
Generally don't think of psychic
No.
mind stuff and astral stuff being the same thing.
I think of that being different.
Yeah.
His clothes suddenly shift into Revolutionary War garb as he sees the door to the Hellfire Club appear from within the endless white void. It makes him uneasy that Mastermind's hold is so complete that Jean is forcing him to conform to it. As the door opens, he sees her garbed up as the Black Queen. He calls out to her, but Jane doesn't recognize him, though his voice does feel strangely familiar. But she wouldn't have any dealings with a traitor to the crown anyway.
Wow.
He tries to explain what he is to her when the other side of the door swings open, revealing Jason Wingard, who draws a sword on the X-Man.
Wait, so they became Canadians? A traitor to the crown, if they're in America...
Well, I mean, if they're Americans rebelling against the king.
But that means that So what happened to most, I don't know, Remainers? Revolutionary Remainers, I can't think of They ended up in Canada, so...
I really don't think it's that complicated.
No.
She's calling Scott an American.
I know.
She's
a rebel.
calling Scott an American rebel. She has been tricked into thinking that she was
a noble lady. An English noble lady or something.
English aristocracy.
I know, but
it's rebel scum.
It's funnier if she's also sounding Canadian.
Okay, but she isn't because she's not actually this person. She's just Jean.
Yes, but imagine if he put a Canadian accent.
Why?
Because it's dumb.
He doesn't fully understand how it is Wingard's managed what he has, but Scott's got to fight him now, no matter whether it's his turf or not, and so he draws a sword.
I'm sure this is going to go real well for him.
Swords clash as the men enter battle. Mastermind isn't bothered at all because this has been part of the plan all along. He knew about that psychic rapport and figured he'd try to utilize it. That way he could kill Scott and fully sever Jean's tether to her previous life.
Ooh.
That seems noteworthy considering Scott doesn't actually know how to sword fight and is mostly making this up as he goes along.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't even think he knows how the psychic connection works in the first place, so...
No, he's still figuring that out. That's like brand new.
So, you know, he's got 3 plates spinning that he doesn't actually know how to spin, and this guy has a plan for all of them.
Yep. Just off the dance floor, Logan's not even worried about the gun to the head.
Look at that confident smirk.
Yeah, the Hellfire Goon feels real in control of things. But in a fraction of a second, Logan's hand shoots up to snatch the guy's wrist, hurling him by it into the ballroom with Logan close behind.
A distraction! Go!
Some more of the Hellfire staff close in with their clubs to try and stop this uproar before things get more out of order for their guests.
And they really are clubs, too.
Yeah,
wow.
like billy clubs.
We can't just have raccoons running around the ballroom. I don't actually know if these are more of the Hellfire soldiers just, like, garbed up in these as these dandies, or if,
waiters.
Or if they're the waiters, right. Because the other guy who was dressed like that was one of the waiters.
Yeah.
If that's the wait staff in this place,
what
a brutal establishment.
Recommendation, you must be fucking jacked and ready to beat a man's ass if you want to serve food. If you want to serve aperitifs, you better be ready to rumble, motherfucker.
Must be prepared to fight the, enhanced of all kinds.
Maybe they just hire goons and then...
They teach them how to
No. They hire goons and the ones that are, like, the hottest, they make into waiters.
The hottest and most jacked.
Love it. Scott is really struggling in this battle against Mastermind.
I'm shocked.
He doesn't know what he's doing, and it is quickly exhausting him. Suddenly, with a twist of the wrist, Summers is disarmed, and Wingard doesn't allow him the opportunity to either surrender or regain his weapon, instead rearing the sword back and stabbing him through the chest.
Well.
Out before all of his teammates, Scott cries out and then collapses on the floor, not breathing. It's a dramatic moment and all, but I'm very distracted by Scott's impossibly flat ass.
I was fairly certain he always had an impossibly flat ass.
True, but this is flatter than usual.
I mean, I'm a little distracted by Claremont's obsession with BDSM equipment.
I mean, we've known this. I warned you about this.
We've known it, but now it's on display, okay?
Yeah.
This issue, we went from informed to...
Well, I mean, last time we had Storm on the fucking St. Andrew's cross.
I know, but now...
The headgear's a bit much, yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you rate that?
Oh boy, that's complicated.
I
mean, this is the moment we talk about the thing we saw.
This is the moment we talk about the thing, I think, yeah.
Okay, I mean, I can guess what people's argument is about that.
Yeah.
I get why it was written that way.
And I get why people are bothered by it.
Yes.
And I think we're supposed to be bothered by it.
Well, yeah, you are.
No, but that's the thing. Like, there are things that are written that we're not supposed to be bothered by.
Yeah, but
that
I'm
are
sure
bothering.
the argument is like, you didn't need to include that. It could have been something else.
It could have been, but what else?
Like, yeah, but
what else shows how
it's
different?
supposed to be outraging you.
I do have to ask, what else shows you that this is not the Jean Grey you know?
Mm-hmm.
And what does it so quickly and so casually?
You know, that's a really good point. That's a very quick and brutal way to make that
What other thing could you do
blatantly
like that?
clear. Because she fucking loves Storm, man.
Yeah.
Yes! I mean, that's her girlfriend, goddammit!
That's her goddamn girlfriend.
She killed Emma for Storm.
She did.
She killed Emma for Storm, and now, what, 2 issues later?
Yeah, I still don't have the heart. I know why people are upset. I still don't have the heart to dock anything for it.
Yeah.
5 stars.
Of course people are upset. It's upsetting.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think,
it's meant to be upsetting.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
a lot of this is meant to be upsetting.
Honestly, that's a thing that I think a lot of media criticism is lacking, is the understanding that this is upsetting. Well, it's supposed to be.
You are supposed to be upset.
The fact that it's upsetting means that it's well written.
That it worked.
That doesn't mean that it shouldn't be there. That means it did its job.
It was trying to be upsetting, and it upset you. It worked.
So
This is the goal of some media. That's why a lot of horror media exists. It is trying to upset you. If it upset you, it succeeded. If
Right.
it didn't, it failed. Unless it was funny, and then it succeeded the other way.
yeah, I'd agree on a 5.
I'm going to 5.
Hell yeah, 5s across the fucking board.
I mean, it is upsetting.
Yes.
But I think it was intended to be upsetting, considering the pattern of behavior.
Everything here is supposed to be upsetting. This is
Yeah.
clearly everything is not right.
No.
Like, even the BDSM equipment is meant to be upsetting.
Yes.
Anyway, so, what do you think Ciamaro thought?
Oh, 4.5?
5.
4.54.
Oh boy!
You've been really on it lately, man. In the case of a crash, please stay calm. Do your best to brace for any impacts and protect your head and neck like so. In case of crash or derailment, please evacuate as quickly as possible to avoid any potential post-crash fires. But it looks like we might well make it down to the bottom. But legit, there's not much you can actually do to prepare for a train crash.
Did you look up some of these warnings?
I tried to look it up, and I couldn't really find shit because there's not much you can do to prepare for a train crash other than put your head between your knees and kiss your ass good luck.
Well, yeah, but that's also true with plane crashes,
no,
and
there is like a brace position. There are things you can do in a plane. There's not like a brace position for a train, but I'm still gonna go with it because like, what the fuck else have I got, man? I'm stuck with this.
I mean, I don't think they give you a train warning.
Train crash warning pamphlet.
Yeah, like they do with planes.
Next up, we're going to just continue the story along since we ended on this cliffhanger here. With X-Men 134 from March of 1980, written by Chris Claremont.
That is a cover.
Hell yeah. Penciled by John Byrne, inked by Terry Austin, colored by Bob Sharon, and lettered by Tom Orzechowski. A few moments later, however, Scott seems to have recovered.
Oh.
Welcome to Avengers Infinity War, everybody.
Turns out dying in the dream doesn't mean you die in real life.
Wow.
So, he was also spinning some plates, huh? He didn't really know how this was going to end.
Probably. Good to know, though. Shakily, he gets back to his feet. We then have a very fun but very pointless page showing who everyone is, how they're supposed to look, and how Mastermind is making them all look to Jean.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
It's cool. It's very cute. It's very fun. It's just like...
I do wonder if we have the time for this.
No. So I'm not going to dwell on it. Outside, the storm rages on, and as it does, the storm sewers are doing their best. But even with all of the water rushing through the sewers, the water level is beginning to rise.
Oh boy.
The Inner Circle's celebrations, however, are interrupted instead by the...
Goal!
by the sounds of a ruckus outside. And moments later, the door splinters as Logan and two of the Hellfire staff clinging to Logan come crashing through the door.
Touchdown!
And
Crash!
Shaw's like, what the fuck?
Like, what the fuck, Leland? I thought he was dead!
Oh, this is what happens when you let a dead man score a touchdown. What do you want?
What the fuck were you gonna do? Send me down into the storm sewer? I'm a large man.
I told you should have sent someone competent.
At Jason's prompting, Jean telekinetically grabs Wolverine, shaking him about as all watch. But at the same time, at the back of Psyche's neck comes the click of a padlock opening. And he realizes that he did it. Mastermind's killing him only shook her free of her illusions.
Whoopsie!
Jane gives him a full telepathic view of the room from her eyes, and Scott uses it to full advantage, lining up to blast his helmet off into Pierce's head. Before carefully lining up a shot to blast the shackles off the rest of their friends.
Nice!
Fuck yeah.
Scott's knock on Pierce has taken him out of the fight for now. Cyborg or no. And he follows it by knocking old Hairball over the railing and down to the floor below.
Fatality!
Look, I'm fat and I make some fat jokes sometimes. I feel like I'm allowed to, so... Timber! Logan's just like 2 thumbs way up for Jeannie right now before jumping after a rematch with Leland.
Yeah, going round 2.
1 down, 1 relocated, 1 turned, 2 members of the Hellfire Club left to deal with. Shaw is still not shook, because you can't hit me, you'll just make me stronger. Which Scott's like, oh, I actually didn't know that, so he just blasts the floor out from under him.
Thanks! I didn't. That was news.
I mean, he doesn't say that, but like, he doesn't know this.
You told him something he didn't know. Brilliant!
Pierce is at least with it enough to crawl over to the hole, calling after his fellow, when Piotr picks him up by the scruff of the neck and just holds him there for a moment. But then Pierce zaps the old robo-legs into action and he kicks himself free.
What? This is why you should have gotten metallic instantly.
Since he's fine, Cyclops makes sure to take the time to chew out Piotr for the fuck up before the X-Men start to rally together, putting together a plan. Storm's following after Shaw, Piotr can keep beating on Donnie, and he's gonna go see how much Mastermind likes fighting him now. He does not, and decides to just make himself blend into the wall.
He solid snakes his way out of here. Damn.
Fucking box.
Yeah, find him in a box at this rate.
Wolverine leaps down at Leland. In a panic, Harry instinctively reacts by bringing his power to bear.
Yeah, that's gonna work out for you.
That's a big mistake, buddy.
A walking ball of knives is above you and you made him heavier.
That's what I was thinking when he was doing that before. Like, Wolverine's already very heavy.
Right. It only makes his already considerable mass heavier as he dives at him and claws out.
Hey, Leland, you don't know how heavy he is, do you?
I don't think he's a regular fighter. I think this was just a panic reaction.
Yeah.
Rep Leland. I think he might be going to Avengers Infinity War at this rate.
Off to Valhalla with Leland.
No, very specifically.
Valhalla would not accept him.
True.
Very specifically, Avengers Infinity War.
Shaw seems to have taken his express trip to the basement in good stride as he's up and running about, though where he's headed I don't fucking know. It doesn't much matter because Kurt bamfs up onto his shoulders.
And he says boo!
I love him.
He's so cute.
I love him.
He's not gonna punch Shaw at all. He's just gonna be the air that Shaw has to try to punch. Good fucking luck! Meanwhile, Storm lowers the temperature around Shaw, hoping to freeze the fight out of him.
That might work.
The Hellfire Club borders on Central Park. Only a few blocks away in Avengers Mansion, Beast is on watch duty.
Or otherwise known as Meanwhile!
Answering all alerts that come in over the night. Suddenly, he hears the alarm of the local police hookup and leaps across the room to check at what's going on and if this is something the Avengers need to look at. They probably should anyway, considering they're in fucking walking distance, but you know. His heart momentarily races as he reads the alert warning of an attack by the X-Men on the Hellfire Club. He'd just been thinking about how, despite everything, the X-Men are still his closest friends. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to sound the alarm, but he can't do it. He erases the alert and then leaves his post, sprinting off elsewhere in the mansion.
Oh, I'm sure everyone's going to be real happy if they find out about this.
Well, they're not gonna, because he erased it.
Donald Pierce wasn't talking up his cybernetics for nothing. As he battles Piotr, he seems impossibly strong, actually managing to make him feel pain as they grapple.
Ooh.
And yet he holds. Angry at Pierce's remarks earlier about how he'd chosen to attack him in his human form.
So,
emphasis on those air quotes there.
So what you're saying is, you wouldn't like Piotr when he's angry.
You know, Piotr has had it with the casual anti-mutant bigotry. I'm gonna read another speech because this one's also a fucking banger as he rips off Pierce's robo-arm. You speak as though I was less than human, Pierce. I do not know you. I have never thought ill of you, threatened you, harmed you, yet you would slay me for no other reason than I'm a mutant? I'm proud of who and what I am, little man. My humanity is not in the outward form I wear, but in my soul. Can you say the same? Pierce then stabs the sparking, flashing wires of his arm at Colossus's face.
And Colossus says, "Arr!"
Still insisting that even half machine, he's more a man than Piotr could ever be.
My God, smile upon me, Imperial. Can you say the same?
The attack momentarily blinds Colossus, and Pierce makes his break for the exits.
Yeah, because he's a coward, and he ran.
Because everybody in the Hellfire Club's a pussy-ass bitch.
Yep.
Kurt decides to try spinning. That's a neat trick. Suspending Shaw in the air with his kicks. He might have gotten a little cocky with that one.
Yeah.
As Shaw manages to get a grip on Nightcrawler's ankle, decking him in the face as Sebastian regains his footing. Suddenly, though, he feels the cold intensifying even more than it already was. Figuring out what's going on, he throws Wagner at Aurora and then sprints further down the hallway, eventually tucking into a secret passageway where he runs into Pierce. Pierce is raving mad about their loss, but Shaw isn't concerned. They make it out to give it another crack from another angle. No big.
So, Shaw is a mutant, right?
Correct.
And Pierce is just a guy.
Correct.
Well, he's a cyborg.
I know, but I just find it funny that they're willing to work together.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if I was recalling from what we were saying, he kind of stole the Hellfire Club out from under most of the members. I feel like Donnie might have been a member of the old guard.
Yeah.
I assuming these people don't go to Avengers Infinity War, I feel like there's going to be some drama between them.
Oh, yes. I suspect probably. I mean, there's drama between everyone.
Yeah.
Upstairs, Scott is trying to calm the partygoers down. But Mastermind isn't exactly making that easy, as from their eyes, Cyclops is on the attack.
Of course.
Of course he is.
I am wondering how they managed to get these two panels exactly the same in the 80s. Because they're not working on
they did
computers at this point.
They are. Most of it is literally the same.
They could probably lightbox trace onto another piece, maybe.
Yeah,
because I just turned my head sideways and crossed my eyes, and those are literally the same.
No, I've been looking
They're dead
at
on.
it. The line art is exactly the same. And it's like a lot of detail that if it wasn't, you would notice.
It's a very impressive trick for 1980.
It's very well done. They've done this a few times there. It feels like a real art brag.
Because it's the funny thing. We see it now, and it's lazy art stuff. But in 1980?
Speak for yourself. I do that shit all the time.
No. I know, but people accuse...
That's called efficiency, baby.
People accuse artists of being lazy when they do something like this now.
Work smarter, not harder.
Comics take a lot of time and work. If you could take...
I'm not denying that.
A little shortcut. I'm not talking about you.
Oh.
I know you don't believe that.
But the thing is, this must have actually taken effort to do.
Oh, yes.
Even if it is the quicker solution somehow.
Yes.
So as we go into this next segment, I want to give a shout out to the colorist for this issue, Bob Sharon, because holy shit, this is all about to look really cool to me.
Ooh.
And then finally, the water level in the storm sewers rises too high.
Oh hey, Wolverine's little plan that he planted a long time ago finally paid off.
Meaning those exposed wires he slashed open, and the mansion is cast into darkness. In the middle of the chaos, Logan finds Scott, and as good as tells him that Leland isn't going to be a problem anymore.
Leland will be seen again in Avengers Infinity War.
Scott says, what happened to Leland? And Logan says, don't ask.
And Scott gets the fucking message loud and clear.
Boy.
I love the coloring in this dark segment, though. It's so fucking good. Here in the darkness, Jean Grey is spinning out of control and is terrifyingly aware of that fact. Also in the darkness, still trying his best to be a very inconspicuous wall.
See, this is... I told you, he's trying to Metal Gear Solid his way out of it.
Well, he might be in luck since the lights are out. And there's Mastermind, who has watched all of his plans crumble away to dust. He doesn't see how he could have missed this. He planned for everything. He likely sees himself as invisible. But Jean hears his thoughts and sees him clear, and her fiery voice snarls out to him, explaining his fuck-up.
He's about to die, isn't he?
Seeing Scott die was like a bucket of ice water to the face. But it was a wake-up call too late, because now everything is spinning out of control, and she can't stop it. He took advantage of her most vulnerable, manipulated her, used her. She pummels him with her power, but doesn't strike a killing blow, demanding to know how he did it, as he is not a fucking telepath.
Oh, so death would be a kindness. Okay. Man's not going to Avengers Infinity War. He's going somewhere worse.
He's going to be the new paint for the Hellfire Club. The White Queen made him some kind of gadget to let him kind of pseudo-telepath with Jean. So I guess those two were in it together while Donnie, Shaw, and Leland were chumming around? That's kind of like the vibe I'm getting. Anyway, that only makes Jean angrier, because he dove into her mind, found her darkest ideas, and amplified them into the realm of fantasy. Jason wanted power, and Jason will get power. And Jean makes him see infinity.
Oh dear.
Everything that is and isn't here but is elsewhere. Everything that is and was and will be. All the lies that are simultaneously truths and vice versa. And it's too much for him. And after the mother of all bad trips, Mastermind is broken.
I love this.
Right? Jean finally leaves the room, looking haggard as she runs into her boyfriend. He tries to ask what's wrong, tries to check in on her, but she's shutting him away right now. Just trying to get the bunch of them out of here because the cops are coming and it's time to get gone. As Scott summons the air car out in the park, Sebastian Shaw watches them from the window, pretty much swearing that from this day on, the X-Men will not know peace.
Oh boy.
Scott doesn't know what to do. Getting them off the ground and away from the cops, that's easy. They get up in the air just as the boys in blue come roaring up the road on force. But he doesn't know how to help Jean. He can't reach her. Desperately, he makes a plan to push this crate for everything it's worth for New Mexico, because it's New Mexico again, even though last issue it was Arizona. Jean saves one last moment to mourn for that love and those thoughts, because it's all too late. Hear me, X-Men! No longer am I the woman you knew! I am fire and life incarnate! Now and forever, I am Phoenix! Brace, brace, brace! Gentle thems and ladies, the train has left the tracks!
Oh!
Boom!
Oh no! Next, Dark Phoenix. Oh no!
Oh boy!
I did not realize these stories ran so close together.
Yup. So, how did you like that?
5.
Yeah, 5.
All across the board. What do you think CMRO thought?
5.
4.72. There are still some critics
There's some
somehow.
holdouts.
Yeah. Holy crap. We are...
Jean's slow descent. Slowly losing her grip.
We're in the barrel of a gun.
Fucking love
And
it.
that was the sound of the gun being cocked.
That boom was the sound of the gun going off, I think.
Then what's it gonna hit?
Wait and see. Next in line is the B story from Classic X-Men 38, written by Ann Nocenti, penciled by Jim Lee, inked by Joe Rubinstein, colored by Gregory Wright, and lettered by Jim Novak.
Not Ann Nocenti again.
Here she is.
Yay! Why do you inflict Ann Nocenti on us?
I had to read it, motherfucker. Bunch of new names for us here in Jim Lee, Joe Rubinstein, and Gregory Wright. Jim Lee is a big deal, and we're going to see a lot from him in the future.
Mm.
I don't know, his art's my particular fave. He's very 90s, though it's probably grown since then, and I just haven't seen more. If you know, you know. But he's the Asian kind of Lee rather than the white guy kind of Lee, so we've got another creator of color here.
Woo!
Woo!
Jim is Korean-American. His designs still hold focus on the X-Men to a lot of people to this day.
Okay.
When I say think of the X-Men, what's your go-to thought? What do you picture?
The original cartoon series.
Yup, and that's based off of his designs in the X-Men series launched in the early 90s. I forget if it's 91 or 93
that's
right now.
cool, actually.
Yeah, he's also the co-creator of Gambit. We're going to be seeing from Jim.
Nice.
Right now, he pretty much is DC Comics. He's the publisher, the creative director, and the fucking president of the company.
Oh.
So, while DC is doing whatever under James
this is really
Gunn,
JL Comics.
Yeah.
he's doing all the comics part of... Okay, so, wow, he's been making some good decisions from the things I hear these days.
And he's actually Asian, unlike our editor-in-chief.
Oh.
I just made Ripley choke.
I had wine in that cup.
Oh, God. I don't know the story all that well, but isn't that the guy who pretended...
Yes.
C.B. Cebulski, the current Marvel editor-in-chief who pretended to be a Japanese woman, yes.
So DC has an Asian American head.
Yep.
Whereas
Marvel Comics also has an
Cebulski-san.
I hate it.
Okay, so here's a fun fact, though. This is going to sound really stereotypical, but his parents were pressuring him to become a doctor, and after he finished his undergrad degree, he made them a deal. He was going to take 1 year before applying to medical school, and if he couldn't break into the comic book industry in that time, he'd go on to medical school.
Uh-huh.
You might notice I didn't introduce him as Dr. Jim Lee.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? He could have had an even more interesting life if he was Dr.
I mean,
Jim
some of
Lee.
these motherfuckers.
Yeah. People come from all over the place and get into this business.
Joe Rubinstein is a pretty prolific inker, and a fun thing about him is that because he does the inking for the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, he has a Guinness World Record for having inked for the most pencilers in the world.
As much as Guinness is worth these days, that still sounds kind of impressive.
It's still a pretty good brag. Like, if you were at a party.
It is, though you had to pay Guinness to get that record.
True. Last off is Gregory Wright. Gregory Wright was a film student, but that wasn't paying the bills. Luckily, he knew another film school graduate for whom that wasn't paying the bills, who convinced him to give comics a go.
Because comics is a known job that pays tons of money.
As far as I know, he's still working in comics, so it must be paying the bills.
He got lucky. Man got real lucky.
Storm's having a good day.
Hey!
No one to fight, not a care in the world. Aurora soars through the skies of New York City before eventually settling down in one of the alleys. She believes herself unseen, but as she walks toward the street, a fellow mutant spots her, hoping that maybe she can help him. Everywhere she goes, all eyes are on Storm, attracting catcalls and double takes from all around. So she's not particularly happy when some rando walks up and starts introducing himself to her. and she just continues on her way. That man, our mutant friend Billy Briggs, is pretty offended by this and quickly catches up, getting in Aurora's face about it.
Don't like this.
Suddenly, one of Storm's admirers, some rich fuck climbing out of a limousine, punches this fucking homeless man in the chest, knocking him to the ground as he tells him to beat feet.
Don't like this either.
Billy eventually does pick himself up, watching bitterly as the pair flirt and swearing revenge.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
These
have a
compressed
list.
stories really struggle, man.
I have a list of things wrong with this story at this point. Like a whole entire list of things.
I think that everything is made so much worse by how compressed all of this is.
Yeah.
But yeah, not going great. When Storm finally makes her way back to the mansion, boys are being boys.
Just rip the tree out, sure.
Logan bet Piotr a case of beer that he can't uproot that tree from the ground.
God.
Piotr isn't even old enough to buy beer.
Doesn't matter. He's Russian.
He not only... What's he gonna do? Go to Russia to buy a pack of beer?
Well, no, but I'm sure he's a professional drinker.
Well, he not only uproots it, but goes a little overboard, yeeting the tree skyward. But with Aurora's masterful control over the wind, it lands safely back in front of the boys, where they are now on to their next wager, whether or not Logan can chop and stack the tree into firewood in 60 seconds.
Oh my god.
They really are just daring each other.
Like I said, boys are currently being boys right now.
They are. Good job.
As the countdown starts, I lose my place on the page. As the countdown starts, Logan begins to work, savagely slashing at the tree. Suddenly, an insurance lawyer somewhere gets a migraine, as none other than Billy Briggs steps from the sidelines, exploding the professor's rolls.
Oh no.
Shit, we can't sue this guy, he doesn't have anything! Stepping through the wreckage of the car, Billy's fist crackles with energy as he gives Aurora an ultimatum. He can flash fry any one of them, and since Aurora snubbed him for the rich guy, he's gonna make her choose between the boys.
Whoa! God!
She weighs her options, convinced that Billy will kill whoever it is.
Logan will be fine.
Piotr is so young and innocent. Logan is the better X-Man, and she hates herself for even entertaining that thought, for having to weigh the value of the men at all, and so then she dwells on who stands the better chance, deciding that Logan's faster, he might be able to dodge it.
I mean, knowing what I know about Logan, he'll get better.
She makes her choice, and Billy honors it, unleashing on Logan. It blasts him back, but that doesn't fully take him out, so Billy comes back for seconds. While he's got his eye on Wolverine, Piotr picks up the rest of the firewood in progress, and clocks him with it, sending Billy Boy flying, blasts firing off at random. Storm swats him back to the ground, and the boys close in. Piotr seizes him, holding his own fist to his head, while Logan approaches, claws drawn with a choice of his own over how the man wants to go. But Aurora finally catches up, grabbing Logan's shoulder. She wants to bring the man inside where maybe they can help him. Logan, even though he understands why she chose him to take the blast, he's still hurt by the choice, and he heads off to go have a beer. Well, Briggs celebrates at least this small victory. What did you think of that?
Is this guy gonna come up again?
Please tell me this is nobody.
I don't remember if he comes up again, so, if that
Probably
tells you
not.
anything.
Okay.
This was bad on so many levels.
It was coherent.
It was coherent.
That's about all it has.
Which is a big mark for Anderson.
That is true. She has not succeeded at doing coherent stories very often.
Not every time.
She's not,
Not even most of the
she's
time.
not batting
even
1,000.
half of the time.
She is not batting 1,000 for coherent stories. So the fact that this one has a coherent beginning and middle and end, that's pretty good for her. I don't know what her deal is. I don't know why she's telling these. I don't know
what this means.
But I also have so many...
She's got so many weird... She's those weird critiques, but these are too short for any of these critiques to fucking land.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't feel right for Storm. It doesn't even feel right for Logan.
Right, he's so pouty about it.
Like, come on. He should know that he's the
He would have
obvious...
done the fucking math, man.
He's the obvious choice. This nobody doesn't know that he's basically immortal.
He'd have probably chosen to take it. Frankly.
And, pouting.
Literally pouting.
It's literally dark around him.
He's got a little black rain cloud over his
He's
forehead.
tortured inside.
And Storm didn't even fucking put it there.
Like we know he's tortured inside.
She really did put it there.
We know he's tortured inside, but not like this.
Yeah, this is...
And never mind Aurora ignoring an innocent asking for help.
Yeah, it's coherent, but well, I mean, she didn't know he was asking for help. He didn't, like, say, I need help.
Yeah, but she doesn't...
And she was getting creeped on by, like, construction workers
No,
or something.
I get where she's coming from with that.
But I don't feel like the rich, snooty guy...
I also don't think that's, like, Storm, though.
Yeah. Like, this is so... out of character for so many of them.
It's coherent. I loved the Boys Will Be Boys segment,
That
and that
was
makes
good.
me at least give it a 2, because
That was good.
those boys were sure being boys.
The art's good.
Yeah. That panel of Logan pouting for all it's worth is really pretty.
It's, when asked to make Wolverine pout...
You did a good job with what you were given.
You were asked to do the impossible, and you did okay.
Good job, Mr. Lee. Well done. 2 stars for me.
Sure. 2.
What do you think CMRO thought?
3.
2.52.
Mm.
We're closing out the X-Men with the B story from Classic X-Men 40.
What is that cover?
It's a lot.
It's Mastermind
Oh.
losing his mastermind.
Oh, it's Mastermind. They're frying Mastermind, I see.
Steam fried mastermind.
Tasty.
That outfit is looking different than it was before.
It sure is. Hot.
Yeah,
But
welcome,
also a lot.
welcome to the 80s.
But also hot. Written by Tom Orzechowski.
Wait, what?
Yep, here he is. We've hit him before. Penciled by Jim Fern. Inked by Joe Rubinstein, colored by Glynis Ween, and lettered by Tom Orzechowski. Again, he knows those letters pretty well.
He better, he wrote them.
First, we have to get introduced to the man named after a plant, Jim Fern. What I know about Jim Fern is that his website has been compromised by Chinese malware.
Oh no.
Wow.
And that's what I know about Jim Fern.
Did you check? I don't suppose you checked the Internet Archive on it.
No, I didn't. I was too tickled by that.
God, just if that's all there is to know about him, that's sad.
Kurt Wagner is exploring everything Manhattan has to offer when he comes around a crowd gathered around something. Interspersed with this, a woman suggests someone take some vocational classes given their disability. As Kurt draws near, he sees the crowd is gathered around, watching a one-legged dancer breakdancing on the sidewalk. He's pretty impressed with her moves, when suddenly at the back of the crowd he spots some pickpockets, lifting wallets from the distracted crowd.
Uh-oh.
A crowd of kids then scatter, including the dancer. Wagner notices her vaulting over the railing of a subway staircase.
Oh boy.
And gives chase. She thinks she's lost him. Again on the side, the woman, seemingly a mother, suggests that her daughter needs to make some friends, apologizing that she doesn't have as much time for her in the wake of her father's passing.
We really do have kind of a B story to this
B
story, don't we?
The subway begins to squeal its way down the tracks, and the girl has almost made her getaway when Kurt catches up, bamfing right in front of the confused teen.
Mm-hmm.
She tries to lose him in the rush of people, but in the end, they both end up standing face to face.
Isn't that always how it works in the subway? Don't you feel me, guys? In that subway we definitely have.
Yeah.
I've been in a subway.
I've been in a subway. It's down on Auburn.
Uh-huh.
Yep, I got a good sandwich there.
We can't go to the better sub shops because they don't have the vegetables.
Oh my god.
Kurt gets the opportunity to compliment her moves, but then the subway stops and yet again she makes a break for it while Kurt is lodged in the huddle of people slowly filing out of the car.
I love this guy thinking, performance artists.
Too much bullshit in the subway. Outside, it seems the mother didn't find that time to take her daughter for her haircut, instead giving her some money to go get some new clothes and to make sure to come straight home. She still hasn't lost Nightcrawler, though. While she may be ahead, he's still got her in sight, and he dashes down the alley after her. But now he really has lost her. He peers around, but the girl seems to be nowhere in sight. Then a group closes off the exit to the alley, menacing Kurt. They then jump him, and the fight is on. He's having some trouble, though, because Kurt is pulling his punches. These kids just look so young. That's not stopping them from giving him a beat down, though.
Yeah, they will beat him to death if they're able to.
Apart from all this, the mother doesn't much care for her daughter's taste in friends, thinking they look like they're in a gang.
And given what's happening to Kurt...
No, these aren't her friends.
Oh.
Up on the fire escape, the girl's watching Kurt's plight with some sympathy, given the same crew has been giving her a lot of grief lately, too. Finally, she leaps into the fight to even the odds, using her crutch and her cane to help give these guys the smackdown. The mother suggests that her daughter takes too many chances maneuvering around on her crutch. She would also like her to help out more around the house. With the fight ended, Kurt and the girl can finally talk, which is what he really wanted to do. He's so impressed with her moves and uncanny sense of balance, and he thinks she's a mutant because of it. Not entirely without reason, either. He'd been following around a mini Cerebro unit this morning, and it led him to her. He's also concerned that she's going to end up getting into more trouble. She's going to end up getting trouble if she keeps going with this scheme. Eventually the cops are going to get wise to it, and he also has concerns that the others are using her. But then she tries to clear up that it isn't like that. Kurt then speaks a little about his past as a circus performer in Germany. He had been loved and encouraged to hone his gifts there. Though after an accident ending with his foster brother's death, he left the circus. Mom doesn't want her bringing her friends around here, and Mom's sick and tired of her attitude, and if she wants to go, she can good and well go. Kurt wonders what his life might have been like had his brother not died. But he did find a way to a new family by following the professor's offer. She leads Kurt away to the back entrance of a restaurant, where the purveyor dabs at Kurt's injuries, trying to help clean him up, as the girl grabs some food the owner set aside for them. And then the pair find their way to a nearby park to eat. As her friends show up here at their meeting place, she explains that she's just not interested. She's already got everything he offered right here. Kurt then catches a train back uptown, headed for home, thinking about what he would say to his foster family if only he could find the words or the opportunity. And down in Manhattan, the girl gives her mom a call, just to check in. How do you like that?
Wow.
3.
That was...
It was fine.
It was fine. It was coherent.
Story.
It was a story.
It was coherent. It was a story. It wasn't weirdly out of character for the characters we are familiar with.
It wasn't terrible.
It was Anne's story.
Yes. Thank you for not being Anne Nesenti.
It was decidedly not Anne's story.
His N story with a singular N.
Yeah.
It was okay. Yeah, 3. Sure.
That's about where I am, too. What do you think CMRO thought?
2.
Yeah, they weren't as generous as us. 2.36.
Ooh. Come on, guys. After dealing with Anne Nesenti, you should be relieved to find one of these.
Guess it depends on where CMRO put it in the order.
Yeah, probably does, doesn't it?
Anyway, while we've got you here in between segments, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe and hit the bell button and talk to us down in the comments. Tell us how your day is. Tell us what you think about the Aurora situation.
Oh boy.
That'd be a lively comment section if only we had people who commented. You could be the first. Well, not the first. You could be the second.
And start some drama.
I think the first one was a spam bot, if I recall.
Yeah.
You could be the first human.
You could be the first human ever.
Ever to exist.
You are Adam.
Or Eve.
I mean, that's not how the story goes, but true. Anyway, we're over on social media. Hit us up over on Tumblr. No, yeah, Tumblr is still Tumblr. It's not Humbler. Tumblr. We're over on Tumblr, Jeter. On Tumblr, Jeter, and, somewhere else.
Well, it's
Facebook.
It's fucking Twitblr now.
Yeah, there's
With the new
there's a
layout.
script to fix that.
I know.
And Facebook. We're in the Zuckerfuck Dome.
Yeah.
That was a weird thing to say.
It was. I heard they're not going along with the fight anymore.
Boo!
Which is sad.
This sucks.
Yeah.
I think I would tolerate billionaires more if they fought
Yeah. Each other.
physically.
Yeah.
Email us over at comicsplaining@gmail.com. If you want to throw us a few bucks, we're over on coffee. But again, the biggest thing you can do, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your therapist, tell your senator, tell your city council, tell the school board. I don't fucking care. Tell somebody.
Yep.
And on with the show to Thor.
Woo.
Woo!
Welcome back to the second half of our show, which
Woo!
is going to be equal in quality.
Herc's headdress is colored wrong.
It is.
Yes, but no, this is equal in quality to the legendary Claremont run.
The
This
legendary.
matches up with that with that cover we were looking at earlier. This is equal quality.
Yep.
Everything about this will be as equally legendary. I
Yeah.
promise.
Candace hates having to go second. And today, even I apologize. Just like, oh, man.
Yeah, it's rough.
Whoa.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, in light of that, can you guys tell me what happened last time with Thor?
Hercules!
Yes.
Hercules, so Thor showed up on Mount Olympus, and he
Yep.
was fucking pissed.
Did
Uh-huh.
Pluto try to start a war between
Yes,
Olympus
yes,
and
because
Asgard?
Yes.
Thor saw that Pluto and Hercules had Hildegard's sister Krista in hell.
However, that
Of all the
happened.
people to kidnap,
Hildegard's sister Krista, Thor's sort of friend's sister.
right? Well,
But-
they couldn't kidnap Sif because we already knew where she was.
but why didn't Hildegard go to help who Hildegard
Right.
known to?
I don't know. She was so
no
fucking
idea.
concerned about it.
Right, let's just let the menfolk walk off to deal with it.
Hildegard so concerned about her sister that she's watching the ye old flat screen with everyone else.
Yeah, Thor also smashed the flat screen. They had to give a replacement flat screen.
Yeah.
Those orbs cost money, Thor.
He's a fucking prince. He has all the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yes, he has a state apparatus for gaining funds. I get it. But it's still irresponsible to use state funds on televisions.
Well, we'll just write it off. It's fine. So he went there, and he was just gonna fight Hercules as soon as he saw him. They saw Hercules. He's like, I'm gonna fight you, Hercules, you cur!
And
then
Hercules was like, "We're fighting now."
Hell yeah.
and then they were. They fought.
But then Thor was getting real serious about it, and Hercules was just confused because he's like, I've never met a Krista in my life, I don't think, unless she was one of the many women I was knee-deep in Poontown with.
Because,
I was
Fortnite.
at a festival
for
for 2 weeks, fucking and drinking and feasting.
And, the only thing that tops off a 2 week of fucking and eating and drinking is a fight with my bestest bro, you.
Yep.
So why are you trying to murder me?
And-
This is weird.
And Zeus is like, no, I can confirm he was indeed knee-deep in Poon.
I have seen him knee-deep in that poon many times! I took
And-
pictures because I'm weird.
And so, yeah, I guess that probably tracks with Zeus. He's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, that's true.
He was probably also involved, let's be real.
Maybe he was a pig who fucking knows what was happening.
The horniest person in the room is Zeus.
At any given time.
Always.
Anyway, so it was like, okay, maybe it was my brother Ares who is of similar build and can impersonate me quite well.
Yeah.
And then they're like, that's probably it. So let's go fucking kick Pluto's ass.
Well, first they kicked Ares' ass.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they did that, but that was on the way to kick Pluto's ass. So then they fought some Snades.
Uh-huh.
And
some Lamia. I know my Greek mythology a little better than I thought.
And then it turned out that Pluto ran away like a bitch to New York.
Yeah.
For some reason. You know, the natural place for Pluto to run. New York City.
As opposed to Hades, which is his own domain.
No.
We haven't been talking about because it's just hell.
Yeah, it's hell.
No. His domain is New York, the Lower East Side. It's where he has his base of power.
And he also took Krista with him.
Yeah, and then Thor threw him into a sign and he died.
He got electrocuted.
Yeah, he's gone now.
He was sent to Avengers Infinity War.
He was sent to Avengers Infinity War or back to hell, whichever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the revolving door. He's kind of got the in and out of the place.
Well, yeah.
He can just kind of come and go as he leaves. So going back to hell is not like a big...
So you know, being Avenged Infinity Ward is not like
it's not an issue
for him. He's gonna be Avenged Infinity Ward. It's gonna happen.
This is the new Unalive, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why don't we... Okay, so we'll just say they're Minecrafted.
Oof.
There we go.
He fell from a very high place.
Okay, so what was the last thing that happened?
Something else happened?
Thor and Hercules walked off into the sunset.
No.
The Destroyer was going to happen.
They went on a date?
It's going to, but something else. Thor saved Krista, but she was sick.
Oh, right. Thor saved Krista, but she's gonna die, and so Thor knows the guy who can save her.
Oh, it's Dr.
Blake!
Yeah.
Who has been away from his practice for roughly so fucking long.
Roughly so long.
What has... Is this the first time we've seen...
He's just gonna walk back into the hospital, and his coworkers are so used to it, they're just gonna be like, hey, Don...
Welcome back.
You know your credentials aren't any good here anymore, right? Like, you're not...
No, he's that good.
He's that good.
So he can just practice, even if it's been like 5, 6
anywhere,
years.
Yes.
The entire medical system just knows he's like God adjacent or something.
That good.
Yeah. So, well, we've gone over all his colleagues know that he's Thor.
He's just God-level surgeon.
That's true.
But
God of surgery.
You know, the God of surgery isn't usually good at, sick. Regular, normal sick, I guess.
He had a cold.
Yeah. So, that's where we left off. Krista is gonna die.
Dun, dun, dun.
Rest in shit, Krista.
Unless we do
Rest
something...
in Avengers Infinity War, Krista.
Unless we do...
Get buried in Minecraft, Krista.
Unless we do something about it in Thor number 224. From March of 1974.
Krista will go to the nether.
Written by Jerry Conway. Penciled by John Buscema. Inked by Mike Esposito. Colored by George Rousseau. Lettered by John Costanza. And this cover is by John Romita Sr. So this cover is...
Is this relevant at all to what we are about to experience?
Yes, but...
I want to know what's going on with this fucking plank of wood that just ends in the middle of the fucking dock. Like, what's up with that? But there's a couple of them. What the fuck is up with this dock?
Well,
this dock is fucked!
Don't ask John Romita Sr. how wood works. He's an artist, not a carpenter.
More importantly, however... This cover is in a subset of Thor covers, which we're going to be experiencing a lot of for a while, that I was talking to Ripley about. Where Hercules is in the position of the damsel in distress.
I don't remember you telling me this, actually, but I love it.
Like, Hercules has basically taken Sif's place in the comics right now.
You know, that's fine then.
That's
it's equality.
A choice.
It is a choice.
I love it.
It certainly is a choice, and it does imply some things.
Oh, God.
I'm into it.
The
Cool.
Prince of Power.
It's a power bottom.
So this one, I feel like it's not our first one, because we literally had a story where Thor rescued Hercules once before.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't
It's
remember what the
happened
cover
before.
for that was, but
It's
that
just-
sounds right.
It's just that right now it's going to be happening a lot for a while.
Because Hercules, it turns out, is going to be around for like 40 years.
Yeah, he's going to be here for a while. I looked at it. He's going to be here until 239.
Wait, you mean... Wow, Herc's just gonna be...
He's just going to be here.
Oh, okay, I guess...
He's the new Silas Grant.
Yeah, well, he's the new Sith.
He's the new Sith, because there's no good
They
reason...
got that romantic tension.
Exactly.
It's not like Thor needs a girl. He's got Herc.
Yeah.
What else does he
Sif
need?
doesn't do anything anyway. So
Sit around and cry.
just keep that in mind. So, we have adjourned to a hospital, where it is time for the God of Thunder to become Donald Blake once more.
Has he been Don Blake since Jerry took over?
I don't think so.
Because I don't feel like he's been Don Blake.
Wait, maybe he did.
Maybe.
Maybe he did when they were stuck on Earth.
Yeah.
He might have donned around for like 5 minutes before he immediately became Thor again.
Yeah, he did, because they talked to the landlord.
Lord, yeah.
That was like the hot second when he was
The
Donald
landlord
Blake.
who turned out to be the 4D man.
Yeah.
Which means that he was being Don Blake was kind of meaningless at that point.
Yes.
This is the first time he's been Don Blake in a meaningful way.
Yes.
Or at least this is potentially the first time he will be Don Blake in a meaningful
Yeah,
way.
you like to count your
As Jerry.
chickens before they hatch.
Yeah.
Yes. Jerry hasn't really been interested in Don, which is not a great sign.
Well, for a long time, Thor's just been fucking around in space.
Stopping in space.
Oh,
Fuck.
they're not in space anymore.
I'm so glad.
Don't go to space.
Don't go back to space.
Don't
please.
take Herc to space. That's even weirder.
Oh, maybe Herc in space could be fun, though.
Oh no, don't laugh like that. Uh-oh. I'm afraid.
So Thor steps into some sort of waiting room to change, and as he does, he considers, not for the first time, where his two halves separate, and which of them can be said to be truly real.
I mean, haven't we settled this issue already?
Yes.
I thought we did.
He stays pensive only for a moment before turning back to the lobby, where we see the entire staff of the emergency room is preoccupied dealing with Hercules being melodramatic.
Don really just takes advantage of nobody paying attention
Yeah.
to him.
Yes.
Well, does anyone ever really pay attention to him?
It seems that Thor entrusted Krista to Herc before he left to change, ordering him to give her to no one until he got back. So now he's arguing with the doctors and nurses, insisting that he has to wait for Thor and that no one will touch the fair damsel.
Thor, you should have told Herc the secret.
Yeah.
Of all the
He should have
people,
told him in advance.
of all the people you could possibly trust with a secret, I think this is the one guy.
Dawn walks up to Hercules.
What's going on with Herc's fucking jaw, man?
He has a... yeah.
The beard doesn't seem to end at the right spot.
Dawn walks up to Hercules, telling him that Thor explained the situation and sent him to help. The other doctors are very surprised to see him, with one of them saying that they had thought him dead.
Yeah, but apparently they're going to let him practice.
Fun.
Blake brushes that off with the excuse of traveling, before continuing to persuade Herc to chill the fuck out. Again, I think some explanation could have been made in advance.
Yeah.
Maybe tell Herc that Don Blake is your guy. He's the guy you're looking for.
But, right, at the very least. But eventually he does give in, laying Krista's limp body onto a gurney, which the nurses brought. As the patient is rushed to the surgical room, Hercules is still uncertain as to the qualifications of this mortal. At least until Dawn lets slip a hint about his identity, stating that Krista is the sister of his fiance's friend. With a little more nudging, the neurons fire up and Hercules connects the dots, proclaiming how strange this world is. Dr. Blake politely informs the Prince of Power that he's not going to be any use here now, so he should take a walk.
Take a walk.
He'll find something fun to do.
Or someone.
He will, but it's high time we were introduced to the villain of the week. So we move now to some shitty building with some dudes in it.
Oh, god damn it.
I really love the art on this first panel, but it does
Yeah.
kind of make it look like the roads are cobblestone. Plus, it's got this old-timey street lamp that just makes it all feel like it's not literally the 70s.
Right.
You know, these guys aren't exactly helping that.
No. So, inside the building is one Professor Clement Holmes and his colleague, Otto. We can see immediately that Holmes has somehow gotten his hands on the destroyer, so we can all guess how this is going to end.
Things are going to get destroyed.
So this guy is a generic mad scientist who has been ostracized by his peers for his madcap theories. We've heard it all before.
Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
I don't
blah.
think this guy's making it to Avengers Infinity War, guys.
He paid some
I'm gonna send
unnamed...
this guy to the fucking nether.
He paid some unnamed South Americans to take him to where the destroyer was, and he brought it back to Manhattan so that he could study it and do something which would show everyone that he's a genius.
Ha ha ha!
This is really all exactly as vague as I'm making it sound.
And as important as you're making it sound.
Even more so than generic scientists usually are, which is saying a lot.
This is mad scientist, generic mad scientist, with a slight air of the 4D man. Not the 4D man, the fucking Crypto Man. Crypto Man.
He's like a
4D man sucks.
He's a crypto man without the one interesting thing about the crypto man.
That is Elon Musk.
Yes.
Otto declares that he's mad and storms out, refusing to assist him any longer.
What good minion storms out?
He's not really a minion, he's more like a colleague.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's like, yeah, nah, this is going too far.
Come on, it could have been a paper. It could have been a paper.
You could have gotten published.
Clem then turns on a machine that he built, which shoots a laser into the destroyer's face,
Ah, beams.
causing it to wake up,
Oh, his fucking face.
which means that his soul is pulled inside the armor to power it.
Wow,
That is consistent.
it is consistent with how this thing works. Yes.
It's not actually, because usually you don't need a laser to turn it on.
Beams aren't usually part of it.
Usually, whenever anyone gets close to it, their soul gets automatically sucked inside.
Yeah, but
You
I
gotta
figured it was
touch
broken.
right? Do you gotta touch it?
No. You just
Oh.
need to be nearby.
That's stupid.
I thought it was broken though. Was it?
I don't remember.
I assumed I figured the laser was the last bit of fixing up that they were.
I
trying
mean,
to do.
maybe I don't really remember what happened the last time we saw it, so
Yeah,
maybe
I
something
don't either.
happened. The
I know Loki
destroyer
was involved.
The destroyer is not very memorable as a villain.
Because it has no character.
Because it's not a character, it's a weapon.
It's
Mhm.
cool looking. That's about the only thing.
It was cool looking in the first movie.
It's really cool looking in the movie. So that whole bit felt like it wasn't thought out very well. But the destroyer is back, which is what we knew would happen anyway, so the preceding events don't matter.
I mean, they did say the destroyer was coming, so
We were forewarned.
The destroyer remembers the last time it was awake, it was fighting Thor somewhere else in the city.
wait. The destroyer has memories?
No?
Yes.
What?
The destroyer has actually talked before. That kind of stops at this point. But the destroyer used to have more agency than it
that's
does now.
weird.
Yes. Well, that was when Stan was writing it. So
Okay, fair. Yeah, Stan doesn't have consistency about this stuff.
it remembers it was fighting Thor somewhere else in the city. So it decides to go to that place and continue fighting him, or else any close approximations. And we can see where this is going.
Have fun, Herc.
The destroyer just destroys all blonde men in its path.
Well, Herc just found a big tall hunk.
Despite being happy enough to check out the city, Hercules has apparently realized that Thor only sent him to get him out of the way.
Yes, because
Thor
Hercules...
would have me wander the streets like a minstrel, a common traveler.
Herc
His-
is very useful in the surgery.
Yeah, he's bothered by this until he comes upon a fancy black tie restaurant, deciding to cheer himself up with food, women, and wine. The host is appalled by his garb, stating that the restaurant requires a jacket and tie, but Hercules is the son of Zeus and knows that he is not bound by moral rules.
My guy, you may still actually be bound by those.
I don't think so. What are the cops gonna fucking do?
Try to arrest him.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
It'd be funny to see them try.
He goes straight in and kicks it at a table, downing glasses of expensive wine as the rest of the patrons look on with consternation.
You know, they could just not serve him if they didn't want to here.
And I think it's important to note that while Hercules has been around in the comics for a while, it's mostly been appearances in Avengers up to this point. The timeline can get a bit confusing with our X-Men sections being so far ahead, but at this point, we've still got a year before the Champions even starts.
That beast is not an Avenger.
So this all means that the general public is, at this point, not entirely aware of the existence of Hercules, either as a superhero or as a real-life god.
So he's just...
Not the way they know Thor.
So he's just some weirdo who...
Yeah, they just think he's some guy.
Oh, no.
Well, the operation was a success, and having scrubbed out, Donald Blake sits pensively in the hallway. He thinks about how, despite having not been himself in so long, his surgical abilities are still as sharp as ever.
Hey, Don, why is surgery your solution to everything?
Because
He's a surgeon.
the Marvel writers don't know anything about medicine.
That's true.
It never fails to amaze him how his hands can mean the difference between life and death in the operating room. As he thinks about this, another surgeon comes to talk to him, one Dr. Lois Reddy. She watched him work on Krista and was quite impressed by his skill. She asks why he's been gone so long, bringing up how many lives he could have potentially saved if he had been here.
Oof.
Woof.
He cuts her off, not wanting to hear a stranger say the doubts running through his own mind. Elsewhere in the city, the son of Zeus has managed to capture the attention of a fine lady, who excitedly urges him to tell her more stories of his heroic deeds, much to the annoyance of her date.
Yeah, she found an upgrade.
However, when the building suddenly begins to shake, the Prince of Power rises to defend the mortals. Part of the building starts to crumble as he makes his way outside, where he sees a figure that leaves him dumbstruck. The Destroyer, casually tearing up the city for no apparent reason.
Okay.
This is a stupid reason for the Destroyer to be doing this, I feel like.
Yeah. Herc goes to fight the metal monstrosity without hesitation, but finds his strength to be a poor match. It shrugs off his blows and lifts him into the air, spinning him around before hurling him into a nearby wall.
Yeet!
As the son of Zeus attempts to rise, vowing to have his revenge, the Destroyer's visor lowers into place. And can I just say, I know you said it looks cool, but I hate the design of the Destroyer.
He looked cooler without the visor.
He's always had the visor.
No, I'm just saying, he looks cooler when it's not flipped down.
Oh, yeah. Specifically, I hate the entire, head area.
The bulbous round head.
Like, the thing they call a visor is just a faceplate that flips down over the grade where, a person's face would be
His
on a helmet.
Football helmet.
So to activate his ultimate face beam attack, the Destroyer covers his face.
Stupid.
It makes no sense. It looks dumb. I'm glad it gets updated later.
It looks cooler without the stupid visor thing.
Yeah. Dr. Blake stands at his patient's bedside and wonders at how much good he could be doing if he weren't off being Thor all the time.
It's a good question.
Krista's life was endangered because Pluto wanted to get to Thor, while Don was able to easily save her in a way Thor couldn't. He questions which of his identities is truly more helpful to the good of humanity.
On the other hand, he saved a lot of people by dealing with the fucking vacuum mechanics.
The surgical genius or the warrior god. Despite his inner turmoil, however, he recognizes when a situation is out of his control. So when he looks out the window and sees the light of the Destroyer's blasts a few streets over, he taps his cane on the floor and once more becomes the god of thunder. Hercules hasn't given up the fight yet, still valiantly dodging the Destroyer's I-beams and keeping it away from the civilians.
That's not nothing.
Thor arrives, whacking the robot on the back of the head to draw its attention. As it turns and grabs for him, He flips his hammer in a way that makes it loop back and catch the destroyer by the shoulder, pushing it up into the air and all the way to the Brooklyn Bridge, where Mjolnir deposits the Asgardian machine into the water before returning to its master. This level of control is more than we've ever seen him have, I think.
Yeah, I didn't know it could do that.
So, for the first time in a while, we can label this as a new Thor power.
Woo!
Woo!
Thor turns to Hercules with a plan. Even together, they have no hope of defeating the monster that his father created. So he sends Herc to find the person whose soul is powering it. Hercules thinks that Thor is just trying to get him out of the way, but the Odinson assures him that his mission is the more important, as it will be the thing to actually stop the destroyer, as opposed to Thor, who can only hope to keep it from killing anyone, including himself.
Yeah, that is true. The destroyer will keep destroying until you solve its power source, and that power source is a soul.
Does what it says on the tin.
I don't know what I expected.
The God of Thunder goes to meet the destroyer as it rises from the water, pummeling it with his mallet in an attempt to gain the upper hand and control the fight. Unfortunately, he's forgotten that being a creation of his father means that the destroyer can just take the hammer away from him.
I forgot that as well.
I don't know if I knew that.
Which it does, throwing him to the ground. It advances, its faceplate gleaming, and our hero is in the familiar position of knowing that in 60 seconds he will be helpless to withstand the assault.
Who's our anchor? I'm not liking our anchor today.
Mike Esposito.
Okay.
Maybe he's just off his game.
Must be.
So what'd you guys think of this one?
Oh, it's over.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, sure. That...
2.5.
It happened.
Yeah?
This must have been kind of a rough era for Thor readers. 2.5?
2.5.
3, maybe?
Yeah. Oh, fucking Fire Lord!
Oh. And the Herald of Galactus?
You didn't know that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't keep track of whatever Fire Lord is up
This
to.
is actually the Fire Lord thing that happened before the Fire Lord thing we've seen.
Yeah.
I don't keep track of Fire Lord even in his non-chronological order.
Firelord, I think, originated as a Herald of Galactus, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's always been that as far as I knew.
As far as I know,
News
but
to
I don't
me.
know.
I don't know anything about this guy.
Well, the comic we're talking about is, of course, Thor number 225 from April of 1974.
That's not true. You know one thing about him. He's a fucking dumbass.
Yes.
Yes. Written by Jerry Conway, penciled by John Buscema, inked by Joe Sinnott, colored by Glynis Wein, and lettered by John Costanza.
So, this is one of the first achronological encounters we've had of a character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was also a Magneto thing, I think.
Yeah, there was.
But I feel like this is very cover page.
We left our boy in a precarious position.
God, those thighs.
Yeah.
With seconds ticking away as the destroyer holds Mjolnir in its metallic grasp. But if you thought this was going to be a problem, I have good news. Or maybe bad news. Because Thor just tells Mjolnir really firmly to come back to him, and it does.
What?
So problem solved, I guess.
Mjolnir is a very good hammer.
Dog.
Good dog, yes.
Good boy.
Good boy. Good boy, Mjolnir.
You good boy,
It's you, Mjolnir.
good boy.
The Odinson then knocks the destroyer into the harbor before diving in after him. Whereupon they begin fighting underwater for a minute.
Why?
I'm sure Namor would love this.
Namor sitting there with
Namor
popcorn.
has, like, domain over the Hudson River.
He would argue with that.
He
about
would,
that point.
and he hates it when landwalkers invade his domain
He would
in any form.
So this is an act of war, as far as Namor is concerned. Namor, who is probably not showing up in this issue.
No,
You know what happened to the fucking Ocean Gate Titan?
Namor.
Crunch. He did it.
Eventually they burst back up onto land as the struggle continues. Hey look, Hercules is back, and he found Professor Holmes.
How?
How did he do this?
How did he do? No, seriously.
How did he do this?
How did he do this?
How did he even know where to start looking?
What?
Herc doll half his way.
Herc!
Well,
Wow!
well, don't worry. It's never going to be addressed.
I'm good with that.
5, no notes!
Otto is here as well, so maybe he helped. I don't know.
They just walked out in the street like anyone who will listen.
Yeah.
I guess maybe he saw the destroyer happening. It was like,
Yeah.
uh-oh.
Thor is now pinned to the ground, being choked by his own hammer, so he calls for Herc to get over there quick. However, Otto is the first to run up, calling out to the spirit and mind of his old buddy Clem. The destroyer pauses for a fateful moment, allowing Thor to deliver a TKO that knocks the spirit of Professor Holmes out of the metal shell, returning him to his body strung over Herc's shoulder.
Hit a mother so hard his fucking soul exits his body.
Huh, didn't know you could hit the destroyer hard enough to knock its soul out.
Well, when its body is nearby, that can happen, I guess.
Okay.
Sure.
I'll buy it.
Why not? You know, the rules for the destroyer are so loosely defined.
Well, yeah, Stan made this thing. Of course there are no rules.
The professor is outraged by being carried like a sack of potatoes. And it seems like...
Herc is confused.
It seems at first like he doesn't remember what happened over the past few hours.
So even Hercules doesn't know how he found the doctor. Okay, yeah. That's incredible.
There are laws against abducting
a
man from his office.
No, I mean the professor doesn't remember, not Hercules.
Hey, I just realized...
What?
I never addressed the fact that that is the last time we're going to touch on classic X-Men for a hot second.
Really?
Yeah,
not until Rogue appears.
Once more drawing parallels between this excellent issue of Thor
and the wonderful works of Ann Nesenti.
Yeah.
Well, it was a really good parallel, right?
At least he seems confused until Otto directs his attention to the now inert form of the destroyer, which causes the memories to come rushing back.
Frankly, far as I'm concerned, this is going to do better than most classic X-Men stories. It's being compared in a light that makes it seem favorable.
Look, the fact is, Jerry is usually more coherent than Ann Nesenti.
It's not always good, but it's understandable.
Yes.
Clem is staggered and ashamed of himself, having been so consumed by his quest for vengeance that he allowed himself to be used by this monster. Luckily, he didn't destroy more than a few buildings, thanks to his godly saviors.
I mean, he was kind of a tool from day one, though, right?
Yes. But this is, like, kind of a wake-up call for him.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this toolishness is even beyond what
maybe
wanted.
Don't go finding ancient relic weapon things and powering them with lasers.
Yeah, this is well beyond the realm of hubris.
I realize the paper could be
beyond
legendary.
The realm of hubris and into negligence.
Like, the paper could be... I mean, to be fair, the paper could still be legendary.
Otto helps Holmes away, promising to let him stay with he and his wife until he gets back on his feet.
Good of him.
After watching the retreating mortals, Hercules turns around to find Thor gone. For a moment, at least. The Thunder God jumped back into the water to find his hat.
Hey, if he turns into Donald Blake when he's lost his hat, if he turns back into Thor, is his hat still lost?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, God.
And after retrieving it, he climbs back up onto the pier. They have some fun banter, where Thor explains that it was the first helmet his father gave him, and he wears it for sentimental reasons, while Hercules says that may be enough reason to keep it, but not enough to wear it, because it's ugly.
Agreed!
Burn!
Great fucking roast.
It's a good burn, because...
It's true.
It is.
It's a gift from Thor's father, and Thor
likes
it.
I've been wearing this helmet that my dad got me since I was a teenager.
So Herc gets to burn Thor's taste, and he gets to burn Thor's dad.
Mm-hmm.
All in one.
It's a good burn.
Yeah, if they were flighting, Hercules would be winning.
Fucking third degree.
Flighting is...
Who's to say they're not?
Flighting is ancient Viking rap battles, by the way.
Thank you, Assassin's Creed Valhalla for teaching me all about that.
I knew about that before that.
I did not.
True.
I did not know about
I've
this.
heard about flooding before.
Because of me.
Because of you.
I only learned about it because of a video game.
Reunited, the two of them just start walking away and leave the destroyer there.
Can
for
you
some
believe
reason.
this loser didn't even know about flooding?
God.
They literally just walk away and leave the destroyer sitting there.
Sure, someone will find it and weaponize it and doom everyone eventually.
Like, we're just not going to address it at all.
Well, it's not their problem.
That sounds like a problem for future Thor.
Yeah.
And because Thor can travel through time with a thought, future Thor's problems are never really a problem.
Come on, it's a little more than a thought. He has to spin his hammer around real fast.
Yeah. Hercules suggests that after completing this task, they should go out for a drink and celebrate their success. But Thor's heart weighs heavy as he considers his duty to Krista. Donald Blake saved her life in surgery, yes, but he can't shake the feeling that an even greater danger looms.
Why?
What are you gonna do about it? Go party, bro.
What danger? What danger could there
Well-
possibly be?
Well, that's when we see Firelord
Ah,
arrive.
this fucking tool.
He alights on the roof of the hospital, his footsteps leaving behind burning cinders in the concrete.
That's
Asshole!
pretty cool.
Rather than use the door, he elects to burn a hole in it because he's a fucking moron.
That's
Asshole.
not cool, asshole.
I mean, there could be oxygen tanks on the other side of that wall.
Yeah, actually, great point. We're going into a fucking hospital, Firelord. I mean, to be fair, his hair's on fire. I don't think that melting the Thor is really going to do anything.
He is going to.
Hair isn't.
He is going to cause an explosion, and it is going to be entirely his fault.
Absolutely.
Then he goes down the stairs, searching for two beings which he hopes to find in this very building.
Somewhere an insurance lawyer gets a fucking migraine because you can't sue the fucking Herald of Galactus. He doesn't even live on Earth.
Outside, Hercules is only a little deterred by Thor's somber concerns, asking if maybe they can go for drinks after he checks on Krista. He's gonna get drinks if it's the last thing he does.
Oh my god, Thor, you really, really did this in front of Herc.
Yeah.
No, who has
Why
he changed
didn't
in front
he
of?
didn't tell him that he was Donald Blake before. He just waited, and now it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but how many people has he changed in front of? Like, how many?
I mean, a whole bunch of people because they just weren't looking.
Yeah, but how many people?
There was also the time that people were looking directly at him, and he just relied on the flash of the transformation to
Okay.
blind them.
But how many people?
And there was that time when everybody was looking the other way in, like, South America or something, and he just transformed.
But this
Yeah.
feels different. This feels more like a superhero taking off their
Yeah,
mask.
a reveal.
Yeah, a little bit.
It does.
Because
I like it.
because this isn't him. This is him transforming from Thor to Dawn
Yeah.
in a
It
private
is-
space
it
in
is-
front of Herc.
It's a little bit intimate. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm starting to read some of the subtext that you have been talking about all this
Oh,
time.
this isn't even what I was talking about. dude.
No, but this is
This is definitely the beginning of the subtext.
Yeah.
But it's not, it's by far not
Good,
the
I'm
most
glad-
heavy of the subtext.
We're really entering into a very gay era right now.
We are.
well, once Herc is taking the place of Sif on the cover, and Thor just transforms into Dawn,
Meanwhile, the X-Men.
trusting Herc with this secret.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's getting real gay in Comicsplaining right now, and I'm loving it.
As they enter the hospital, Hercules... Why did I say that like that?
Hercules!
As they enter the hospital, Hercules asks Blake how he could prefer the life of a lame mortal to that of a god. Blake responds that when he is Dawn, he doesn't care about Thor, but when he's Thor, he doesn't care about Dawn. He transforms by necessity, nothing more.
And then he just kind of gets stuck in the mindset.
A few floors up, Firelord has at last encountered the hospital staff.
Oh, good! Now he's going to do something terrible because he's Firelord.
The humans are awed and not a little horrified by his flaming visage. The one orderly steps up to tell him off.
Dude, I like this orderly who is, like, the embodiment of, look, kid, I've seen some shit. She
Yeah.
means what?
That's the same orderly.
Yeah.
So he steps up to tell Firelord off, saying that his get-up could frighten the patients, so he needs to beat it.
This is a man who has stared down superheroes and supervillains
Yeah.
and told them to leave.
Well, Ozai has no regard for humans.
Is that who he is now?
Yes.
Firelord Ozai. And don't you have a son to burn or something?
And so he bats the man out of the way with his staff.
And lights him
maybe
on
that's
fire.
why he's here.
He also lights that man on fire.
Yes, and the rest of the nearby nurses rush over with a blanket to put out the flames.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
at least he's in a good place to deal with having been on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Firelord continues onward. But just then, Hercules enters the scene, and seeing what this stranger has done to his beloved mortals, he just can't help but start some shit.
Well, to be fair, this man started shit first.
It's true. He grabs the Fire Lord's shoulder, spinning him around for a good talking to, but the Herald lashes out, declaring that he will not be touched by any living creature.
That tracks.
My guy, you are about to be touched.
Mhm.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, now touch me, babe.
The people in the hallway begin to panic as a fight breaks out, surging toward the exit. Dr. Blake tries desperately to fight against the current, while Hercules, offended by Firelord's brazen attack against his magnificent person, tackles the man through the door into Krista's room.
How dare
damn
you
it.
burn me?
Dawn rushes in, calling to Herc to stop and recognize where he is, that he's putting her in danger, but the fight is too rowdy for one mere man to halt, and instead the good doctor gets knocked into a window, which shatters upon impact, causing
Holy
him to drop
shit.
his cane to the streets below.
Yeah.
Whoops!
Now with a whole new problem on his hands, Blake rushes back through the throng of escaping people and down the stairs.
Okay, hear me out. I think this is an occasion in which you should take the elevator.
Also, Don?
I mean, he has a bum leg.
does
Yeah.
he?
Yes.
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 That's why he has the cane.
He literally does.
I don't know. I always wonder if that was a real disability or just...
No, it's
no,
real.
it is. He
It
has
is
a bum
a
leg.
manufactured part of his existence.
I mean, that is the thing about Don, isn't it? All of it's manufactured.
Yes. Which is how I can tell you categorically yes.
But, okay.
So yeah, I think he should take the elevator.
Yes,
Although,
he should take the elevator.
Considering the amount of destruction Herc and Firelord are causing, what if they damage the elevator?
Well, then he's fucking Thor. Well, no, he's
No,
not.
he's not.
That's the whole problem. Never mind. Revoked.
As he goes down the stairs, the fight continues, eventually making its way back into the hall. Finally, Don reaches the ground floor and finds his walking stick in the gutter. And for a moment, he considers what it would be like if he just lost it. If he never turned into Thor again.
Bruh, you've got shit to take care of. This is not the time.
Well, he realizes that he doesn't have the luxury of time to consider this, as Hercules and Firelord crash through the outer wall above him, and he is forced to make the transformation.
Lord.
This all got very hectic very fast. Now he's Thor again, and no longer plagued by questions of identity. He's always been Thor, after all. Donald Blake was just a creation to cloak him.
Okay.
So you
I
see
get
that
this.
there's like a...
That's
The
interesting.
duality.
Yes.
That's interesting. I like that.
He watches Hercules fall these several stories with his fiery opponent, knowing that such a long fall may be fatal even for the son of Zeus. So he does the only thing that he can do, and catches the Prince of Power at the last minute like a damsel in distress. Firelord, meanwhile, makes a more graceful landing nearby because he can fly.
Oh, that's cool, though. I like how he touches down
Mm-hmm.
using his staff.
He spots Thor and begins connecting some dots that he hadn't been able to connect when he was only dealing with Hercules. Indeed, these are the two he came to find, and he tells them as much. Hercules is like, let me at him,
Well, of course he is.
while Thor holds him back, understanding the true danger of the situation. It's not Firelord they should be worried about, but his master.
How do you know Firelord has a master?
He just knows things.
Because Odin's constantly talking.
That's
He's
true.
got his fucking Google alert set on Galactus.
That's true.
Also, is it because Firelord just exudes, I am not confident enough to be the leader of anything?
Yes, that too. Indeed.
Who the fuck would hire this dumb fuck?
Well, no one would let him be in charge of anything, obviously.
Indeed, Firelord is the Herald, and his master is none other than Galactus.
That's gonna be a problem, my guy.
Thor says that Gal promised Reed Richards he would never attack Earth, but Hercules understands that the word of the World Eater isn't worth much.
Yeah, about that.
If they act quickly, they can take out the Herald before he has time to signal his master. Oh wait, he's already doing it. Well, fuck.
And, of course, the royal flat screen catches all of it.
Firelord looks up to the stars and shoots his eye beams across space. Back on Asgard, Odin, Sif, and Hildy watch this on the royal flat screen. Odin is pissed about Thor's identity crisis, seeing it as a shameful distraction preventing him from dealing with the real problems before him. But like, my guy, you did this to him!
Sif makes a really funny, stupid face.
Yes. You did this to him. He wouldn't be having this crisis if you hadn't literally created a mortal identity to trap him in
Donald
for
Blake!
God knows how long, letting him think that he was his own person before pulling the rug out from under him. Once again, Odin is mad at Thor about problems that he himself created.
This man is the oldest boomer in the world.
Odin
Truly.
will never take responsibility for anything he's literally done personally.
No, never. Literally never to this day.
He will die many times without taking responsibility
It has
for any of it.
become a character point, actually.
Good.
It's a flaw. It's
It
a
is.
character flaw.
Sif,
It's a large chunk of his character.
it is.
He's a flawed character, what can I say?
Sif asks if Galactus will really return to Earth once more, and Odin says, yeah, seems like it. I guess last time he fought the Fantastic Four, Reed tricked him into flying into the negative zone.
Whatever that is.
So now he's back for revenge.
That's the thing.
But why? Asks Sif. Why does he always go back to Earth like a man possessed? The answer is simple to Odin. Earth was the first place where he was defeated, and continues to be the only place able to resist his world-ending power. He craves victory over the Earth as keenly as he craves the planet's very life essence.
Earth has got sour sugar on it.
Space
and
Tucky is very...
makes it taste real good.
Look, Space Tucky is real tasty, and he just craves that mineral.
In the depths of space, Firelord's signal reaches a strange pod, activating it. A port pops out of the craft and Galactus emerges.
Of course.
It has been 2 years since he last walked on Earth, and at last he must return. For if Galactus does not prevail, the universe will fall.
Someone heard your call for actual Galactus.
Yes. Indeed, you were saying you wanted real Galactus. Well, here he is.
Well, we kept on having Galactus at home, and Galactus
so
at
now
home
we get
sucked.
more Galactus,
So now
but
we
now
get
it's
more
with whipped
Galactus.
Well, look, I'd rather have the real thing other
what
than
if
the
we
knockoffs.
had a story that wasn't Galactus?
Yeah.
There's a big thought.
But we don't get to not have Galactus. Don't you understand?
It's mandatory.
It's a staple of Thor.
Galactus is for some reason a Thor staple.
My son, the man-wolf.
I want this stamp that's just Black Bolt. Like,
T-posing.
T-posing.
I was about to say, is that J. Jonah Jameson? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Because his son is the man-wolf.
True.
That is true.
By popular demand. That cover.
Everyone loves Man-Wolf. We love Man-Wolf.
Oh, that cover.
We love man-wolf, don't we, folks?
Skies out, thighs out. Woo!
That cover is, it's something.
Not good. Bad scale.
That
real
is indeed the cover for Thor number 226.
Love that Galactus is just like maybe 3 or 4 Thors high.
Yeah.
From May of 1974, written by Jerry Conway, penciled by John Buscema, inked by Mike Esposito, colored by George Rousseau, lettered by Artie Simek, covered by John Romita Sr.
Ooh, John Romita Sr., you've done better work.
Well, things always get complicated with Galactus
It's
and
true.
scale.
They
true.
do. No one really knows how to handle that. And
Yeah.
that's kind of...
Because you gotta make the rest of the area around him make sense in any kind of scale,
can't-
and I think that's the you gotta make anyone he's fighting.
Galactus
like,
is
visible.
hard to... Unless you're doing some of the stuff like those more recent X-Men covers.
Maybe we can interpret this as Thor is closer to the camera.
Unless
Yeah.
you're doing something like those more recent X-Men covers, he's really hard to put on a cover.
Well, Galactus has been called, And as such, it is far too late for Thor and Herc to do anything to stop Firelord from doing the thing that he just did.
So why don't they just kill Firelord?
However,
Revenge.
This does not stop them, as they both insist on trying to fight the Herald, as if that will help the situation. Thor jumps on Firelord first, saying that the villain won't have an easy time with him because he is stronger than Hercules. He gets immediately punted, which prompts Herc to move in to rebut that statement, only to be warded off by a flare of the flaming staff. Firelord tells them both to save their energy for fighting Galactus before flying straight up into the sky.
Why?
Because he did his job.
Yep, he did what he had to do.
I guess he did. You are a weird guy.
He's a really stupid motherfucker.
Yeah, he is.
Just dumb as a fucking rock.
The gods watch after him, bemused by his rude-tude and disregard toward earthly life.
The thing Thor says about him. By Odin's blood, I swear he's even more arrogant than thee, friend Hercules.
Hercules doesn't argue with that.
Yes.
It's just a little friendly jab.
I know, but
it's just like, yeah, I acknowledge that.
As far as Herc is concerned, yeah, I'm pretty fucking arrogant. What's it to you?
How could you not be when you're as good-looking and strong and handsome and powerful as I am?
And have as such an attractive boyfriend.
A reporter from the Daily Bugle watches from an alleyway nearby before running home to type up his Pulitzer-winning article about the return of Galactus.
Yeah, good luck on that Pulitzer. There's definitely going to be an award before you die.
I think you need an award for the worst fucking haircut I've seen in a while.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
To be fair,
the worst cut I've seen since Mastermind last week.
Though, to be fair,
this comic,
it does look like this a writer does think that they're going to be dead before they pick up the award.
Yes, he does.
That is a set of faces, isn't it? They're not even looking at the same place.
No, they're not.
Herc was drinking up a storm before this.
That's true. As the reporter does this, Thor and Herc fly back to the hospital, where Dr. Blake has a private office, apparently.
Somehow.
Somehow.
They thought he was dead.
They kept it open.
They thought...
Sentimental reasons.
Wait, hold on. The man who they thought was dead still has his own private office.
Or is it funnier if he just got it, today?
I don't know
they had to kick out another doctor.
I don't know which is funnier. That they've kept this private office for a man who they were confident was dead.
They were keeping it as a memorial. He had to clear out a bunch of fucking flowers and shit.
Or they quite literally kicked out another doctor for a doctor who they thought was dead and who they suspect will vanish again.
Yes. As he has a habit of doing.
He's just that good.
Our boys sneak in the window, and once indoors, Thor stamps his hammer on the floor to assume his mortal form.
Why do they need to sneak?
They need to work out a plan to deal with this, and fast. Yet Don's attention is drawn by a racket outside, so he opens the door to learn what's going on. Apparently, not only has that reporter finished his article in the past few minutes since Firelord left, but it's also been published and circulated.
They picked it up.
Hold on. So, what were Thor and Herc doing the, day?
It's been at least a day.
Now, at this time, I believe there was still a morning and an evening edition, so it's possible he made the evening edition, but that's still multiple hours of time Thor and Herc have been...
unaccounted for.
Cavorting around New York.
They were getting that drink that Hercules wanted.
And then some.
Well, the drink Hercules wanted wasn't just a drink.
Right.
True.
So yeah, the timing's a little off on this one, Chair. The hospital staff are clustered around a tiny TV where a newsman is relaying the information to a concerned public.
Yeah, come on, Chair Bear, get with the program.
Galactus is returning, and it will be the end of everything.
We're all gonna die!
Fuck, everybody panic!
Dr. Blake slowly retreats into his office, closing the door behind him. Hercules asks if the Devourer is truly as powerful as he has heard, and Don replies pensively that it's difficult to describe how powerful he is. It was his hope to keep Gal's return a secret, which is why they were sneaking around, so that the two of them could meet with him at the edge of the solar system before he arrived at Earth. But the cat's out of the bag now. Jerry then takes this opportunity to recount the first appearance of Galactus through Don explaining it to Hercules.
Which has some value.
Has some merit.
Because it's possible people haven't read any of that.
As detailed in the issues of Fantastic Four number 48 to 50, the world first learned of Galactus a few years ago when the Silver Surfer arrived. As he approached the Earth, the Watcher placed a projection of fire across the Earth's atmosphere, violating...
Fuck, he is so bad at his job.
You are the worst guy at your job, my dude. You failed so often.
Uatu comes up for fucking performance review.
But they haven't fired him. How have they not fired him?
They just keep putting him in different programs to try and get his work up to snuff.
I don't know. Do you think he's got, nepotism working on the side? Maybe his dad is, the boss or something.
So he violates his oath of non-intervention in hopes of cloaking the planet. He also warned the Fantastic Four, who fought Galactus to their own defeat. At the last moment, the Silver Surfer betrayed him to side with humanity, and as he fought his master, Reed was able to steal a weapon from Gal's ship and threaten the Devourer with it.
Uatu doesn't look like a big-headed baby man yet.
Yeah. No, he just looks like a guy.
You're right. He's just a guy. Where's his big head? Oh, I get it. He got the big head as punishment for breaking his oath.
Every time he intervenes, his head gets just that little bit bigger.
Killing me.
Though, I do like how Herc's head is shrouded in darkness.
Yeah. This panel's actually really nice.
Yeah.
Galactus retreated, but for his treason, the Surfer was banished to live on Earth.
Oh no! The worst thing you could ever do!
Well, he's an alien, so yeah.
He was very dramatic about it.
He's very dramatic about fucking everything.
True.
The Silver Surfer is like...
My God, can you
so
imagine
dramatic.
if the Silver Surfer went to the store and they stopped carrying one of his things, like all the foods you like?
Yeah.
They stopped carrying his favorite croissants.
Yeah, basically. Hercules is beginning to understand, but he wants to hear about Thor's encounter with Galactus.
And now we're getting to the,
This issue fucking sucks.
Yeah, this is all about, stuff that happened.
Exposition, backstory, the fucking issue.
Don explains that battle was inconclusive, meaning that Galactus has never truly been tested, and so it's impossible to know if they can actually defeat him in combat.
Yeah, Odin made him stop fighting him.
Yeah.
Odin was weird about that. That didn't make sense.
So it takes exactly 100 hours for Galactus to make the trip to Earth.
What is he... Okay.
He was on the other side of space.
Yes, but why 100 hours?
I did.
Exactly 100 hours.
That's just what Jerry says. I don't know.
Okay, Jerry.
That's because he was 100 hours away. That would be
duh. His ship arrives as a glowing orb in the sky, terrifying the people below as it transforms into some kind of space car thingy.
What?
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 Yeah, I'm not loving this one.
No, I don't think there's still a thing in the sky. I think Galactus
he shot out of it.
Yes.
I see.
I think Galactus took his own personal space car.
It's just a space ride.
Yes. The big man has a space car.
And it looks stupid as fuck.
That he took out of his space orb.
But it is undeniably a space car.
Yes.
No argument. It's a space convertible.
Yes, it is. No one could conceivably think of this and not see a car. It has a grill.
It has a grill.
It has some kind of weird alien bumper.
Weird wheels.
Wheels in air quotes.
Wheels. It has, a hood ornament.
Yes, it does.
He's a Texas oil man, apparently. In space.
A space Texas oil man.
Gal disembarks and begins walking the streets in search of Thor.
So where did he park his space car anyway?
Just wherever.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters.
I mean, he's gonna get ticketed and towed.
Yeah, but then he's going to
He'll eat the ticket.
Ticket authority.
He'll eat the ticket. Yeah, he will.
It's the entire ticket authority. Nobody.
And everyone will cheer.
Until they get eaten.
Yeah, but they'll feel good about it for a hot second.
Luckily for him, it doesn't take long, because our heroes were ready for this. Thor arrives first, propelled by his hammer, and is ready to duke it out until Gal asks him to wait and hear what he has to say. Hercules arrives on foot, also ready to fight the giant, but the Odinson stops him.
Hear my proposition. Maybe I will only eat Africa.
Oh, God, that Galactus, that's extremely problematic. You can't just only eat Africa.
Can I eat only South America?
That's also problematic. Come on. No, you can't just only eat one continent. That's
Just take a bite out of it like a donut.
No, you look.
Maybe just Quebec?
Yes. Yes, you can have Quebec.
In Thor's experience, Galactus is no liar or trickster. It will cost them nothing to hear what he has to say. Gal thanks the Thunder God before beginning his tale. He says that after Thor helped Ego fend him off...
Now hold on. This is the second time Galactus has had a story to tell Thor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God, the motherfucker never shuts up!
you know, not gonna lie, having read enough Marvel stuff to have an opinion on Galactus, wordy is not usually the term I apply to the guy.
So after Thor helped Ego fend him off, he took a while to recuperate before inevitably trying once more to devour the living planet. This time Ego lashed out immediately, wrapping tendrils around the Devourer.
I mean, to be fair, Galactus was riding his laundry machine.
His laundry machine. He had that last time we saw him, too.
God.
Proclaiming that he and all humanoid life forms would die. Sensing that something had changed in the biosphere, Galactus fought him off and only barely escaped with his life. He knew now that Ego was no longer content to simply live in peace, but that he had become murderous and violent, lashing out at all sentient life around him.
I hate space stuff sometimes.
Ego's a fucking incel.
And so he sent Firelord to Earth to find Thor, who he knew would help him defeat the living planet. It was only the Herald's temper that caused them to clash, resulting in Gal's true message being lost.
That tracks.
So what you're saying is...
Ego needs to hire smarter help.
Yeah, Galactus needs a better minion, because his current one sucks.
His current one's got the fucking IQ of a fucking piece of dog shit.
Firelord's dumb as hell. But Galactus says later in this issue that he's the most loyal herald he's ever had. So he's at least
like
got that.
A dog.
Yes.
It's not like it's not like he was hired for his brains.
No.
He's stupid, but loyal.
He does what he's told, just not very well.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get why he's doing it.
And he doesn't get ideas about rebellion or not eating planets or anything.
Not like his last employee.
Yeah, who said no,
so
not
he just
this
hired
planet.
a yes man.
Yes, he hired a yes man, and he doesn't care that the yes man is dumb as a brick. Because the yes part of the yes man is far more important than Norrin Rad being kind of brainy brain.
Hercules doubts the truth of this tale, but Gal is more than willing to prove it by taking them to see Ego with their own eyes, which will coincidentally place them in conflict with the living planet, so that's very convenient for Gal.
Stop going back to space!
They agree to do this and get into the ship, flying back out into space.
No! Stay on Earth!
Firelord is also coming with them, obviously.
Oh, Lord.
Thor and Herc aren't too happy about that.
I mean, like, he's Galactus' employee.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
It's not like Gal was gonna leave him behind.
I mean, he could. It'd be funny.
Luckily, it seems the Herald is fairly apathetic towards them, and just walks away without saying anything.
Like, yeah, but we'll fight him if he starts shit, so, like, watch out for that.
Thor hypothesizes that Ego may have changed somehow when Tannenheil removed Ego Prime from his body in issue 202.
Oh yeah, that did happen,
That
didn't
did
it?
happen. Maybe that piece of him upset the delicate balance of the biosystem in some way.
And made him an asshole.
Yeah.
Gee, it's almost as if that was a bad idea.
Crazy.
Yeah, you know, those colonizers and their ideas
They're
they
such
get
great ideas.
of changing ecosystems, you know, introducing
Well,
or
Rygo's gonna have to
messing with
colonize an
wildlife.
entire new fucking planet, so...
Days pass in monotony and silence until they arrive in the vicinity of the living planet.
So do you think Galactus has anything for them to eat? I mean, I'm not sure they need to eat, but I feel
It would
like...
be good hospitality, for
Yeah.
sure.
And I feel like they want to eat.
Yeah, I generally feel like it's kind of like how they can survive in space. Like, they don't need to breathe. I think they would prefer it, but they don't have to.
But I just can't imagine Galactus really having food on his ship.
No, he'd just be like, here's some rocks.
Firelord is there, but then I
Yeah.
guess he probably just snacks on, I don't know, the power of cosmic or something.
Yeah, you
Snacks
know.
on some kindling. Just a piece of wood.
It's not even burning, you just look over and you just...
And crod.
like a fucking dog. There we go again! Like a dog.
Wait, was he still Galactus's minion by the time X-Men ran into him?
Don't remember.
I don't remember either. He's not memorable.
He might have just been a dumb fucking guy.
Because I'm just thinking about the fact that if he got fired by then, that's hilarious.
Galactus has got a habit of picking really stupid fucking hair.
Well,
Yeah.
he picked someone too smart for the position.
And he learned his lesson.
Exactly.
So Galactus turns on the view screen to show his godly allies the exterior of the ship, just in time for Ego to shoot them with I-beams.
Oh, great.
He looks infected.
Yeah.
You know, he is looking kind of under the weather.
Yeah.
The vessel rocks, sending its occupants flying. Yet this isn't the worst of the damage, as the walls seem to come alive, forming strange man-shaped monsters of metal.
What?
Yeah, something he can do, I guess.
Ego can do this.
Sure
Okay.
he can. Why not?
Sure.
Why not?
Because it's not living shit.
Why not?
We're in space. Anything can happen in space.
Thor and Herc both get dogpiled before Firelord runs in the room from off-screen. Galactus has to focus on driving the ship, so it's up to the boys to fend for themselves. Which they do, both knocking away the grasping assailants so that Firelord can melt them with a blast from his staff.
The colorist is being lazy.
Yes.
Mm.
Hercules praises him for this, but he brushes off the compliment because he sucks. Galactus calls for them, and they all turn around to find that during the battle, the ship entered Ego's atmosphere, and they now fly low over the surface of the living planet. They look on with awe and trepidation, anxious for the battle to come.
Do you think Galactus took back his space car? Or do you think it's still parked somewhere
No,
on Earth?
I think he brought it
I
back.
think they got into the space car.
I don't know. It'd be pretty funny if he forgot it.
So what would you guys rate this one?
3?
I was-
a comic.
I was really looking forward to them to, like, fight on Earth.
No, never
or
mind. There
something.
was too much fucking recap, too.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking forward to an Earth battle with Galactus, not this space.
I was
Now
Looking
we're
forward
back
to
in fucking space
Earth-based shenanigans
Yeah.
for a while.
And we had some good ones with Thor and
again.
Donald.
Ooh.
There was... So, the thing about these comics is that I think the character moments were really good.
Yeah.
The stories are bad.
Yes.
So Jerry's really nailing, like, the characterization and developing the characters, but...
Jerry bit off more than he could chew.
Some guys are character guys and some guys are plot guys, and it seems we know what Jerry is.
Yep.
Like, when Don was explaining what Galactus could be, that was far more interesting than any of this.
It
Yeah.
takes a special motherfucker to be both a character guy and a plot
Yeah.
guy. And those are the guys who usually,
Have legendary runs.
you know their names.
Mm-hmm.
This is weak. The last one was
Again,
better.
you know Jerry's name anyway. too, because all that recap, I forgot about all that fucking
Yeah.
recap.
He pulled a Stan and gave us too much recap, which is not the first time Stan. It would not be the first time Stan had done it.
Like, I was enjoying the battle with Firelord, the stupid motherfucker.
Yeah, that was way more fun than.
Looks like the last thing Jerry was doing was some Spider-Man
Yeah, he was writing Spider-Man
in
around this
2017.
time. Yeah, he continues.
You know,
jumping in and out.
that feels like a better fit for him, considering the nature of Spider-Man.
That's
He was writing
where
Renew
he
Your
started.
Vows.
Renew Your Vows is one of my favorite things. If you haven't read it, very good.
He wrote some Carnage.
You know, the spider drama
Some Punisher.
feels like a good fit.
It's an alternate universe Spider-Man, but it's still good.
Lots of Spider-Man.
Yes,
Punisher.
He's mostly
he
a Spider-Man.
created the Punisher, so that makes sense.
Oh, you know what? That's probably a better place to find
He
him.
wrote some Wolverine comics
He-
in 1992.
Also started off in Spider-Man, so not a shock to see him there.
Well,
Spider-Man / Doctor Strange, The Way to Dusty Death.
Okay, well, let's close this out.
Okay.
That's going to be it for us this week. We've gone through all of our issues, all of equal quality.
yes. Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely. This is definitely equal to the Dark Phoenix saga.
It is.
This is unquestionably
Speaking
just
of,
as good.
next episode is our last episode of the season because
Season
we're still
finale.
doing seasons, even though it affects nothing.
So
Yeah, it
what
means
ends?
nothing.
What does this season end with?
This season ends with the end of the Dark Phoenix saga.
Ooh.
Next episode.
It's a big one.
Yup.
And then the third season is going to start off with Avengers versus Defenders.
Yup.
Oh boy.
So look forward to that.
Yeehaw.
Woo!
Anyway, that's going to be it for us. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.